Hey guys, how's it going? Here we are again with Downtime in the Hangar, where we're talking about GBO2 and all things about it. Today I'm joined by GamingEmblem,
Heyo.
Gustav the 13th,
What up?
and GndmManiac.
Hello.
So, what have you guys been up to? How's your week been? Gustav, you want to go first?
It's been fine, just trying to go in that grind for ranked. Besides that, just working. Not a whole lot going on with me right now.
What have you been playing?
GBO2.
Well, I mean, what have you been playing in ranked?
Oh, in ranked, just
Yeah.
pretty much anything I can get my hands on. The Akzaku, I finally got the BR for, so that's been pretty nice to run. The Cold District has surprisingly been getting some good mileage for me. So my last couple higher scoring things for today, actually we're done with that. Beyond that, I think the only support I'm running is the mass production gun cannon. No raids so far, but I'm tempted to try to get the BD1 a go on one of those matches.
It's not a bad call. Gun cannons get you top score. I've come to that realization.
MPT is my go-to for supports now.
PT? You talking about
mass
the horror
production.
game?
Yeah. I should have tried the regular gun cannon though. That rifle is definitely nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, seriously though. Yeah, I've pretty much been playing just the mass production for my highest scores. Second to that would be the gun cannon. Whereas I found out the translation cancer cannon.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's great. Good old
That's
Google
fantastic.
Translate.
Is that where world record came from as well?
No, I just
No,
gave
that was him.
names.
Okay. I was like,
It
Yeah,
might
world
as-
record. Good.
It might as well with that fucking range though, even now.
but yeah, Emblem.
Yeah,
What,
I give all sorts of these cute names. Go ahead, though.
well, what have you been up to?
Oh well, first and foremost, I'm in a world of heat. I think our air conditioner is acting up or something. Like I got home and it was stifling inside my house, and I believe the AC just can't keep up with the fierce Alabama summers.
Jesus.
So it's a little bit hot. You might see me hit up one of these numbers every now and then because everything is
Condensation in
heat.
there.
Yeah, it's just I gotta air out my ear muffs so I don't grow mold in my headset or something.
Gosh.
But minor discomfort aside, I got a ceiling fan on. Pretty good on my end. I would like to score better in the ranked event, but I can't complain. And we've actually had some pretty fun stuff going on at work. We apparently I work at Regions Bank right now. Whenever I'm not doing my very very successful stream thing, I have a thing going on at night. You may not have heard of me, GamingEmblem, but whenever I'm not streaming, I work during the day, and I work at Regions Bank, and this week is their employee appreciation week, and we're doing a bunch of special event days. In fact, tomorrow is Nerd Day, and
Oh boy.
yeah, well, which I actually was going to ask you guys because I was having a little bit of a discussion with my coworkers. So, what do you guys think of when you hear nerd? What do you see? What do you think one looks like?
Immediately, I think of AVGN.
I don't know who that is.
Angry Video Game Nerd.
Nerd.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
a
do
good
know
one.
who that is. Okay, but they got the whole taped glasses, pocket protector kind of thing, and I was like, dude, it's like 2019. Just wear a Star Wars t-shirt. Like, what are you guys doing?
Pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pick a comic book, video game, Star Wars t-shirt,
Yeah,
something like that.
Gotta love
Everyone
that
really likes
mainstream.
Avengers, for real. My chat's telling me whenever they think of nerds, they think of this guy called GamingEmblem. But
My first
that's how much that's
reflex as an asshole was to be you. Just
please do that. Can you please do that next time? Because if it had crossed my mind, I would have called you out. So please do that next time.
Hey man, I was already pointing at myself.
I had to stop myself so hard.
because I would have said it. It's like when I called out Magnum last podcast for his
no.
act guy shenanigans.
Oh no.
It's like, must be nice being in C rank. Like, just go for it. You're not hurting my feelings any.
Hey, with this ranked, we'll get into that here in a second.
Right.
Maniac.
But yeah, that was my day.
On the list.
Maniac. How's your week been?
Well, in terms of the game, not too bad. Work-wise, yeah, it's fun.
That sounds about right.
But
What about you, Magnum?
yeah. So, as far as early on, before the rank started, I was playing some Path of Exile. Now rank started, and that's about all I'm doing.
Been
it
consumed
ends.
by the sweat.
Yeah, whenever there's a ladder and I have a chance at pushing it, the only thing I will say, well, we'll get into it more, but I just don't like the Mario Kart effect that this thing is having. But the as far as it goes, I've been having some good scores. My highest so far is 1525. We had 16,500 points at least to get that. So, yeah, pretty good.
See, it's high scoring, but you're talking about, was it like a blowout or was it pretty close?
Oh, we just stomped. It was on, and the thing is, it's been on Impact site. So it was just like one guy ended up quitting like there at the last minute. And
Shit.
if he didn't quit, we
Just
probably would
to
have hit
make it
17K. Yeah, like we would have hit
one
higher.
less body to decimate.
I know
Damn
that was the problem. I was just like, one more. Come on, we needed more points. I probably would have hit 1600 if that guy didn't quit.
Oh
Or
my
17,
gosh.
1600 points. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, other than that, I've been averaging about 1300 most of the time. Today, not so much, but I wonder if that's just where people's getting used to the meta adjustment or just how people are playing different. I think that's kind of more of the case where they were really greedy at the beginning. But yeah, so far for ranked, it's been pretty good. Other than that, that's been pretty much it. Yeah. But so you guys want to go ahead and get into ranked now?
Well, we
Sounds good
got
to me.
balance changes as well, unless you want to just do that first and get it out
Oh
of
yeah,
our
yeah. Okay.
systems.
Well, what we can do, we can start with the balance changes because that doesn't come up in ranked as well. So I guess we'll kind of do a 2-for-1 kind of thing. So yeah, I guess we'll go with the ranked balance changes. I guess in that case. What do you guys think about the DS nerf, the Zaku nerf, and the weapons rack cannon nerf?
I can feel it. I can actually feel the nerf from some of those suits.
I don't really have the context for the Act one because I got the BR recently. So-
I can seriously see the difference from the BR. It used to be like if you got hit by it, you would be stunned, and then you would be down slashed. Now they give you like a shortened amount of time for how long you're stunned, because you used to be stunned for like a good like 10 seconds or so, and now it feels like, oh yeah, I'm stunned for like 2 seconds if that, and I can just move on.
I don't recall them adjusting the stun time, Maniac.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
not,
the heat.
I'm not actually sure
the
what
heat
you're
output
talking
I
was
about.
the bigger
I
one.
thought it was the stun time.
No,
could've
it was
swore that's
actually
what it was.
the heat output is
And the rate of
higher, so
fire.
you don't get as many shots.
Yeah, I'm
So
definitely
it's
familiar with
overall
that, but
slower.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then either they don't even know what they're doing, which is quite possible, or I could be wrong, way wrong on that.
From what I see, they changed the heat, the fire rate, and the overheat cooldown, which I'm guessing is all longer.
Oy.
It might be a nerf across the board.
Yeah, because I think it consumes more heat now, which should make it harder for them to like stagger out shots, right? I think that was one of the things they did.
Yeah. Yeah, so now you gotta wait a little bit longer, and plus that little bar that goes across that fills up so you can shoot, the ready up bar,
Mm-hmm.
that apparently takes longer, and the overheat takes longer, so you can start firing again.
There's still no part that mitigates that ready up yet, right? Like that just isn't
No.
a thing. Yeah, it's
The
kind of.
ready-
I wonder if that's something they'll ever do.
I
think-
hope not.
I think the ready up is just the ready up. I don't think
Yeah.
they'll ever have.
I think
anything
across
with
the
it.
board is probably just gonna stay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because I
hope they
think
don't do
that'd probably be too strong. Personally, like it would. That sounds scary. Just thinking about it.
Well, as a support, I'm just like every one of my cannons. I'm just gonna, as a weapons rack OP at that point. Like they're gonna have to nerf that damage again. And with that, I haven't really felt that too bad. Doesn't it's? I mean, I don't know if I would say it takes one more shot or anything to kill like a general type. It might on another support or a raid, but I really haven't felt the damage decrease. So the weapons rack still feels about what it used to.
Yeah, like seeing people hit and that bar go down, like, or even I think I was watching you, it was like 3,000 some odd a shot on depending on what you're hitting. It's like it still seems about right.
Yeah, like I don't recall it ever getting over 4K. So I mean, it's still pretty solid. Like it's definitely a good suit. And then you got the
Yeah, I think the main
flare.
pull is the fact that you get pretty like fast shots off with the cannon.
Mhm.
So you kind of get a hit in, and depending on how far you are, you can set up for like a good follow up of a melee or Vulcans or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even use a flash. So I think like at its core, like losing the damage sucks. It's gonna hurt it, but I think it could still kind of operate the way that it originally did. You just won't be quite as devastating. You'll be slightly less so. But I was gonna play the world record too much. I've been all about that gun cannon life right now.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been putting in work for me. That mass production type's got some sweat on it now.
Yeah, I gotta like drain my cockpit after every match.
Just floosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Efreet DS that also got a nerf with 2,000 life. Same with the Agzaku. I can definitely feel that playing as a support. I can just shred them to pieces now. It's yeah, I'm kind of surprised how I killed them so fast before. Especially the Agzaku now. It's just like those things go down. If I get a good hit, especially with the just the normal gun cannon, they're gone. Like that's a 2-hit combo and you've killed easy. Because even with
That's interesting from the support standpoint, because I like, I play a lot of raid, and overall like it feels about the same. Like obviously if I can get them and hit them, they go down a little bit quicker because of the 2,000 less health, but like it seems like they're with the tools kind of. Axoku's a little bit different. Like it's still pretty punishing, but it's not as bad. Like it used to be where they would stagger you, like set up for something, and then they could fire like again immediately. It was pretty brutal.
Right.
yeah.
But the DS like fighting it still feels about the same. Like shotgun confirm where you cry a little bit and then you get knocked down. But the
Yeah.
Axoku is a tad bit more manageable. But if they get you, it feels about the same. They just might not have a good shot follow up, or they might not opt to do it because it's not as free as it used to be.
Yeah.
So the damage is down a little bit. At least it seems like it to me, compared to like what it was before when they were able to fire a lot more rapidly.
Yeah, the Agzaku got hit a lot harder than the free DS, and then also the which I will say, as far as the health on the DS, I can definitely feel it. Just as far as oh, he's way over there, he's coming at me, and he wants it. Okay, let's just shoot as much as we can at him, and a lot of times I can get him low enough to if a general type turns around, they can just kill him. Even if he gets to me and kills me, he's normally done. So that's the difference I feel. And sometimes I can get them low enough that if I somehow manage to get out of that shotgun range, then I can end up killing them in some cases. But prototype really hurts though.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the kind of way the slots have been filled by suits. Like I wasn't expecting a proto to kind of pick up like it did. I figured more people would play maybe like the high speed Dom or something else.
I'm actually
But,
surprised I don't see that, and I've actually
Yeah.
been slow to play it because so many people have been going hard on the proto, and like they'll balk at certain suits, like that. So I might do it next time. See tomorrow if we can get some shit done with that, because I do have it. I haven't run that or the DS yet raid wise, so might be some options.
I mean, with
I
that,
actually haven't played the DS either.
played the DS once, but I'm not a raid player.
Mm.
It feels even squishier than before. But sorry, I just had a thought. Outstanding.
Where'd it go?
Somewhere over there. It just took off.
If you need a minute, I can act guy your spot while you go find
Oh
it.
gosh. There it is. But yeah, it was something about the balance. I can't remember. Oh well, unimportant. As far as the other balance changes, what do you think about them rebalancing what else do we already have in the game? Did one of
Well,
the
are you talking about
snipers
the other
change?
stuff that was changed? Yeah, because it was the White Dingo 2 or the White Dingo sniper, and the Ultimate Beast God gun, commonly known as the long barrel Zaku machine gun.
Oh god, that
got
was
my
fun.
range.
Hey, that's pretty good on the recon. It's pretty
The
legit.
connoisseur's rifle, truly.
Look, Recon sounds like it's a monster, but that's interesting. I haven't played it yet.
Like
So I
it's
did.
a support that's a general, pretty much.
I did take the Zaku sniper out with that long barrel at least once after he did the change. And it's actually pretty nice. I forgot what I was facing off against. It might have been like a Noct or a Proto, but I was actually able to keep
Do you
them
think
stunned
it,
and just bully the dog shit out of them to death.
do
When
you
they
think it
tried
feels
to
like
pull me
the
out.
anti-air gun now?
I would say better.
I mean, a little bit better just because you also had the ASL. But if you have something moving fast enough, like say a BD1 is still coming at you and they veer off to the side while they're in like exam, one of those bullets is probably still going to stray off. But you can time it better because the bullets are so much tighter to each other. So I've
Better
seen better
seems like
results.
really. Yeah, I'd say better seems like really bold. Like even losing out because the anti-air is a underrail grenade launcher, right? Like, am I right about that? I don't play it very much, so I'm
The
not 100
anti-air,
percent
yeah,
sure.
it does.
But I would still say that probably would give it a little bit more versatility. Because
Well,
like, is the range? What's the range on the long barrel machine gun? Isn't it kind of short,
no,
relatively speaking?
it's pretty long. It's well over 100 millimeter, and it's pretty much almost like a cannon as far as the range.
That's
A
interesting.
little
I don't
shorter
remember
than
it being
cannon.
that good, but
Yeah,
I haven't played it in
opened
like
up. I put an
forever.
ASL part in there too, just so that I didn't have to scope down so much. But yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got some decent range on it. It's definitely still tough to hit at range because they're just gonna spread out when they try to track.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got decent range, and if you catch the enemy support slipping, you can still hit them with that. If you get close enough, you can nail them with the stern pulse out the same. So it's got options even with that.
I mean, the ASL really helps, and as far as the range, I'm checking that right now. But
I'm being told 400.
Yeah, 400 range for level 1.
Yeah, 550 is a cannon range, so it's still pretty. That's pretty good. Pretty solid. And then it staggers on every hit, if you hit the 3, of course.
Truth be told,
okay.
it's not
I'd say,
something
like,
that
yeah,
I would.
yeah.
That's way more.
Unless I really want to be cheese and I already have my 3 bigger scores, I'm probably not going to take it out in a rank like that.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely not.
in rated, I will, and you guys won't fucking know until it happens.
The
Yeah, they've added the thing where it
though.
tells your weapon.
Could you imagine if they did just be like done another thing for people to nitpick at each other for? Like,
Yeah, the meta plays would be like next tiers, like, oh, you're using that gun? Nope.
I'm
You
out.
would never start a match.
We'd be in Q Simulator forever.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what the actual game is. I like that they have a little in between for like 8 minutes where you fight with mobile suits, but we're all here to sit in lobbies.
Pretty much. But like the long barrel though, pretty much what I on the recon at 200 cost though, you've got everything pretty much doesn't have any fancy, crazy mobility and stuff. So you're just like, oh, you're stunned, you're staggered, and the rate of fire is actually pretty Like they're done, they get a step or two, and then you can stagger them again. Like it is pretty silly in that respect. So, I mean, that's my big thing with it. It's just the rate of fire with it's insane. So you can almost stun lock somebody yourself. So I would say might feel a little OP in 200 cost.
I think I'll have to see if the meta shifts with that. I'll have to see that to believe it personally.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about the recon suit, but as far as like the gun itself, like
Right.
Yeah.
I knew what you meant. Like I feel like I won't see like because what's this other weapon option? Is it just the long barrel and the camera gun?
Oh, on the
have-
camera gun's a sub weapon, so like, what are the other options? What are the other options for the main
I think
weapon?
is it just the Zaku machine gun? I think is the only other option.
I think that sounds right. I haven't fielded a suit yet. Like
I mean, it's something.
I
simple.
lose so much.
I really have to
I
wonder.
lose so much I haven't used it yet.
I really have to wonder how many people are going to run it, or how many people are going to bother.
I'm being
to
told
do, like,
Zaku bazooka and the Zaku machine gun. Like it seems like you would just want to run them. I mean, this is just a preference on my side.
bazooka.
My machine gun game is weak, but I'd probably run for the bazooka.
I think I like the novelty of having another suit that can finally use the long barrel, so I'd fuck around with it like that. But yeah, if I got frustrated, I'd probably bust out the bazooka just to see if I could do better with it.
As a support player, though, I like the long barrel, but the bazooka might not be too bad with it. My only concern is that its armors are weak and that its health is not the greatest. So,
well, it's 200. Like, have you compared it to other suits?
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna use like the ground type, well, okay, it's about the same. Well, I mean, they got a shield on the GM ground type. The muff is the same, but it has a shield.
Is the health the same?
Yeah, the health on those are the same. So it's 10k, but it doesn't have a shield or anything. So, and its resistances are a little bit less than some of the suits, or about the same. Looks like.
Good old Xeon. Even their little arm sheets for the Zakus don't count. Poor bastards.
Well, I kind of wonder if they're like trying to be careful with the free suits now, because like I'm not like the Matsunaga, for instance, isn't bad, but like I feel like it just made like I was talking on stream about this the other day about how like the Matsunaga needs some kind of push. Like it already does a lot of damage with the Heat Hawk, but like it's still missing a little something to kind of give it an edge. So like I almost wonder if like they're trying to be more careful with the free suits. Because I mean, like the other ones, I don't know. Does the Zaku 1 GS kind of see a little bit more play now after the buffs? But I mean, the Desert GM has been relatively solid. It's like maybe they're trying to like hold out on releasing suits that are like super powerful, so they're like starting them out at a lower level or something. I don't know. It seems interesting, but I haven't played it yet.
That seems about right. Like I wonder if they'll ever actually like bother trying to buff up the Shin at some point, because they have done adjustments to the other ones that you mentioned. And what would they even do with the recon at that point if they actually do follow that pattern?
Yeah, I mean that'd be interesting. But like when I was the person I was talking to in chat about it was his name was Savage Maelstrom, and like one idea that he put out that I actually kind of agreed with was and I think that I personally think that at the Edison as a new skill more than anything else, just to keep it from being a cross the board thing, but giving it the ability to melee in midair. I think that would be that'd be really interesting.
That'd be interesting.
That would make that a whole different game. Like I know there are some times where you can actually initiate while you're actually moving forward, and you can like come down off something, because people drop axes like that all the time. But to actually be able to actively engage in midair with melee, that would be some shit.
Yeah, I think that'd be really strong.
See, I don't understand why they didn't even implement that in yet, because what was it? The GBO2 and the what was that gym? I think the Night Seeker with the airborne control programs.
Yeah.
Or
you would think things with airborne controller could actually do it. I mean, that would justify the DP cost for the Night Seeker at least, and make it more active when it's in the air.
Yeah,
that might be something they plan on implementing at level 3 though, because I mean level 2 like gives you further stuff, right? Or is it just a reduction in, I don't know, fall speed or something.
I think it's reduction of
could
fall
edit-
speed. What's the one that the Stamen has and that the O1 has where it can like boost midair? That's a different one, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
that should be airborne control program.
Maybe
Is
it's
it-
just a
is it the
higher
level
level
2 that-
version of it.
Is it the level 2 that gives you the
So it could be
boosting in
higher.
air as well?
Mhm.
Yeah, airborne control program.
Because
is
I
the
thought
one
that was
boosting
I
in
thought it was
air.
the glide system or whatever.
The glide
Hmm.
system is helping you fall slower.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, and that
Hold
makes
on, let
sense
me-
because I mean that makes sense because the
double-check that.
airborne control level 1 gives you the double jump. And if the glide system makes you fall slower, then level 2 letting you boost, it makes sense. And it would fall into what I was saying, where if like maybe level 3 lets you melee, because the airborne control systems like each level adds a different like normal on ground function that you can do to the suit. So like maybe that'd be something they want to do. Although it wouldn't work for the Shin. They need to give it its own skill. Like just call it Shin Matsunaga's a badass and he can swing in midair.
I'm
Not
sorry,
doing a
I
fucking
was wrong for the airborne control program. The airborne control program allows you to do additional jumps in the air and boost
Okay, so,
actions.
Yeah, so we were
Yeah,
right about
that's
that.
what
It's
I
just
was
additional
saying.
actions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what was the other one we were saying? Let me
Glide
double-
control.
The glide control.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like
Take a
glide
look at
something.
it.
I think we got the right idea.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
figured it out. But yeah, that'd be
Yeah, it
interesting. And I
reduces
wonder
fall
if they would actually retroactively set that to any suits for the level 3 if they actually did do that, and what suits would you guys actually want to see that on?
Well,
Well, they've
here's-
already shown that they're going to do it with skills because they took they took skills off the suits, like the ones with space specialty, and they've already added like with explosive reactive to suits and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be strange if they did something like that moving forward since they've already done it before.
That's
what I
actually.
find.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
What I find interesting is out of all the levels of the glide structure, we do not have a level 1.
That's
To
interesting.
my knowledge. We have 2 and 3.
Just on suits that presently have it.
Maybe. I thought I had all the suits with all the skills, but glide structure level, not glide structure. Did I say glide structure?
Yes, you did.
You did. We're
Yes, I
talking about
did.
airborne.
Yeah, okay. Well, the glide structure reduces fall speed, so I was thinking about that. Like no suit to my knowledge has level 1, so I wonder if that's going to be like on a 200 cost suit or something, because
Maybe.
level 3 is on the GBO2. So like the GBO2 had like a lot of skills like at like high levels, and
Yeah,
some of
because
the
they can dash
skills
midair and all that other stuff.
yeah, and I'm just kind of thinking about this. I'm like, well, I haven't necessarily paid attention to skills like those in lower cost suits. So I was just wondering if
The Night
Listening
Seeker's always
succeeds me.
been the bigger example.
Yeah.
In terms of low cost, having like shit tons of skills that you may or may not actually use, but at least they're there.
Akai counter. Can't hide from that.
I will say about that real quick. That could just indicate that they have a suit in mind at a lower cost for the level 1 version. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like the glide control suits already fall pretty quick, so I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make.
Right.
But maybe there's a suit that will have the level 1 version that they have in mind.
I will say though, I do like that they have this system. However they have their code set up, it looks like they've got it very modular that they can just plop a skill in and then it just affects the suit entirely. That's a pretty cool system that they've got set up. So yeah, with what they've already added and just changed, like you said with the legs, explosive, whatever, that's pretty legit. Oh, and they added that thing where in space supports can just like super aim down. Like
Oh,
you can
the
aim
gimbal?
almost.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the gimbal.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could just aim
Yep.
like straight down, dude. Like it's kind of insane. But
I think once they added that skill, it really helped like units like the gun cannon and all of them survive longer. Because that was like another that was something that most slow supports in space had an issue with.
yeah, now
Because-
I just go up and shoot down, dagger
Yeah.
again.
They didn't make it on ground too. I've played so many ground matches. Like, man, give me gimbal on Earth, man.
Seriously
Right
though,
now.
on mountain, you're like, okay, I've got you. Nope, come on.
I'm like trying to imagine that on ground, and you just have them tilt too far forward, and the whole suit just like flops over. Like, whoop, well, too much tilt.
Falls off the mountain.
If you aim too far down, that's the penalty. Like they put it on a suit. You aim too far down though, you fall over. Forced iframes though, or maybe it's just like damage fall.
Like people
instead.
just start dolphin diving and fucking.
We'll call it playing dead. You just take a dive.
Just
man,
flop.
activate
Well, there go my iframes.
So they're so apparently this is the first time that they're actually doing nerfs. Is that correct?
No, they've been doing nerfs throughout the game.
Okay.
They've been doing it.
So from what the translation says is like, sorry to go back on what we've said, but we are doing, nerfs essentially.
It might have been just
the
specific
translation is downward revision.
I think it's probably for the suits that they've nerfed, and they're just saying, "Hey, sorry we didn't nerf these earlier." I think that's what they were trying to get at.
Okay, maybe. Which,
yeah, because I could be wrong, but I think they said they had no plans to nerf some of the suits.
Yeah, they said it's in the summary. In the future adjustment policy, basic stance remains, balance adjustment by upward revision. So they're trying to do it via buffs as opposed to actually like debuffing stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, and like right above that, I kind of was like, is this the first time they've nerfed what? But
yeah, I mean, if you want to think about it like this, they've already nerfed. Like, even if there wasn't any, they already nerfed the GBO2 before it even launched. So I mean, they've already done nerfs before.
Yeah. Which so, what do we think about this nerf to the exam system and buff to the Oh wait, no. We're getting a buff to the Pell Rider, but I guess Hades is getting nerfed.
Yeah, for the Hades.
No, Hades is getting buffed.
Yeah, Hades.
How are they gonna make Hades worse?
I was like, what? No, well, like it said based on revision to Hades, but yeah. So the Hades is getting buffed, so therefore they're getting buffed.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I'll take it. I mean, me running it, I kind of ignore the Hades system. I just like that it has such a variety of weapon types at different ranges that you can use. Yeah. But it would give me another reason to just push the eat button and try to sweep in and slap some people around.
I mean,
now, what exactly did they detail on what the changes for it?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
It's just getting buffed. So I'm hoping that it gets rid of the defense nerf to yourself, like decrease.
No, no, that is
it'll
actually
stay, but that's canonical, and it'll probably stay, but they might reduce it or maybe just make the buffs that you get be a bit higher. I mean, those are the two different options I would assume.
I was about to say the whole point of the Hades system was like.
So somebody lied to me a while back and said that Hades system, at the very least, as a perk, didn't fuck up your suit after the time ran out. That's not true.
No, it acts exactly. It's almost
the exact same. And I was like, "Fuck me."
It's a minute less, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Or not
a
minute less, but it's
about the same. It's just not BD3 levels long. So
it's a minute.
15 seconds. Yeah, I was gonna say 15 seconds
it's
more.
A level. Hades is essentially exam level 1, but just
in duration.
Yeah, in duration of time.
I personally hope that they get rid of the reduction. I think it's perfectly fine for the sake of gameplay and balance to remove a little bit of canon from the story. And I honestly think people who really want to play the suit, like there'll be people who do it, but I think there'll be more people like, finally I can play the suit, my favorite mobile suit, more so than like Hellrider is my favorite, but I don't lose like 10 to all of my defensive stats anymore, so I can't play anymore because it's not the same suit.
But my lore.
Well, I mean, if they do, still put a decrease. But if they are going to keep it for lore's sake, like just put like a 1%, so nobody knows.
Like,
like instead of it being a 10% decrease, just do like a 1% decrease.
Even just halving it would make so much of a difference.
But
I am interested to see what they do though.
yeah, like I hope we get some numbers rather than like defense doesn't hurt you as
Yeah,
bad,
slightly adjusted. Yeah.
which was probably what we'll get.
Give it them raw stats. Give it to me.
So they're okay. Here's a big one for me, just because I don't like seeing this in a game because it always hurts. But the BD2 and the BD3 is getting a nerf as well.
Oof.
Oh, I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
So not
No.
only are they nerfing exam, they're nerfing BD2 and BD3 at the same time.
Oof.
I saw that coming from a mile away after that tournament thing. I saw that a mile away because
was that like a
that's
super prime
exactly
accommodation?
why. That's
Oh, God.
exactly
Oof.
why. Because what they had is that they had, what was it? 3 BD3s, a BD2, and was it a Hildifer or was it
It was definitely tanks.
Yeah.
And they completely dominated the enemy team.
Oh,
Completely dominated them. Like all of them like popped exam, not at the beginning, but like midway through, and just fucking railed them. And
You know,
I knew that was gonna get a nerf.
I personally think that the reason for those changes are a little bit different. You know, I might be holding to hope here, but I think somebody from the development team may have seen Downtime episode 1 when we talked about it and we're comparing the two, and like maybe it's had like a stunning realization, like, oh my god, they're right. We should do something about this.
This is awful.
And then they made that post. So like they read it up that night.
They just got a lot of really, really polite comments. over on their
Comments on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I guess in that regard, the Hildolfer is also getting nerfed, which, yeah, I'm a support guy. I really want it. I don't have it, but it is OP. Like, I've got to try it out, and man, it's good.
That
Like,
cannon is for like a fucking truck. That shit,
Yeah.
it's the same as the Zommel, only then you're not a
it
giant
moves
that you're
faster.
flat on
Yeah.
the ground. You're a tank, which, you know what? Stop making things that destroys your own cannon, please. Because like they're like, we decided to build giant robots, and then we decided to build this tank that's tactically better in just every way on the ground, but we're still going to use these giant robots. And it's like, stop making tanks. You're ruining your own logic here. But
Because they sent that engineer to die in Igloo.
Oh,
was
yeah.
so fucked. That
Yeah,
whole
like-
sequence.
but like
What are you talking about? Sonnen just got unlucky. He was like showing all those Zaku's who their daddy was.
I mean, he was, but just.
Hey man,
it
I want to
was-
do
he
the
was such a
spin.
ball
Cool.
condition.
I want to
They
do the
just
spin
wanted-
in game.
That shit's.
Oh yeah. Make that
Can
no. Like
Can
have
it do it in Versus? I think one of the more recent ones, it's in there and it can do the spin.
what I would find funny is that if they had to give support a dodge roll yet, give it to the Hildifer and just have
That's what
them
I'm
spin.
saying, man.
Start deja vu and let's go.
All
I
of a
mean,
sudden
they could
get
just
a
base
dodge
it off the
roll,
dom
just go.
spin.
Oh yeah, that's all they would have to do is just do the dom dodge roll. Essentially, it's the
Yep.
exact same thing.
As a tank. Oh my gosh, would that be hilarious?
The only stipulation would be that you had to be like transformed,
Yeah.
so that you actually do it while you're moving, and then you just yeet and go somewhere else.
So what do you think they're gonna nerf though? Is it gonna be the damage or tank or a little bit of everything? 'Cause-
Probably a little bit of
Probably a
everything.
little-
The
yeah.
bigger
Well,
thing
they
would
already nerfed
definitely
it
be the
already. It's kind of like when they fix the bugs and they change like well it would be a nerf for it fixed because the cannon swap speeds used to be broken.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I can't remember exactly what they did. I thought they did something else to it, like maybe the something about the transformation mechanic or something. I have to look it up.
like the duration just
well, the
isn't as
fix-
long, or
Well, I don't think they changed the duration. I'd have to look. Like I know they fixed the time between swaps. Apparently it's like instantaneous or something like that. And there was like another thing that I can't really remember off the top of my head. I wasn't ready to talk about the past hit offer stuff.
right?
But there was that. So like I would just say keep that in mind. That they've already made a few adjustments to the suit already with the changes that are coming up.
Which
Oh, I
I mean,
forgot the. Oh, go ahead.
well, the Hildolfer, you would transform and then you could switch instantly. It was no
Yeah, there was no
pull
ready up
down.
time between
Yeah.
shots. Mhm.
So you could be like, while you're transforming, you could be like cannon, 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 and it was just like what? So yeah, that was pretty dumb, but they got to that pretty quick. Luckily, that was a hot fix.
Lotus brought up something interesting. Hildifer and one other support has maneuver armor.
So the assault gun tank, I would assume.
I would assume the assault
Right.
gun tank. So
that'd be
those are
it.
the two supports.
Yeah, the only thing that gets them out is a downswing.
Mhm.
Shotguns
It'll
do
make
it
their
too.
whole thing curl up and be like,
The
kinda
missiles on
creepy to
82
see.
and 3 will choke them up during the transform as well.
Mhm.
oh, that's
Really?
cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
They'll nerf the boost gauge that's eaten.
You'll probably like this one, Emblem. Gunner Gundam getting a nerf.
Whoa! What?
Really?
Well, I mean, unless they take away the anti-stealth,
What?
I don't see what much is going to change. Because I mean, Gunner
Right.
Gundam fights are pretty easy. It's
Frustrating.
more of just they see you coming and let their team know you're coming in.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, like,
Fair enough.
I don't see too like that's just me playing with Pixie though. I don't really see like I wonder what they're gonna do to it. Like I think maneuverability wise, it's fine. I would just say maybe make the charge time longer or something because like I think the gunner's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm not even sure why they're nerfing the suit.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like it sucks just like most other suits. Like maybe to like do something to the full charge attack power or something to maybe like spread out the damage a little bit better because it's pretty much like full charge or suck with the gun sometimes.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
But
Yeah, like if you're like raw shooting it, it's because you just need to stun real bad. Especially since the charge time isn't really that bad either on that rifle, so you might as well just charge it. Not to mention it has such big benefits on it.
And it has, yeah, I was about to say, like, fully charged, you get, like, piercing and...
Stupid damage on it. So
Yeah,
it's like,
stupid damage.
you might as well just go for it.
but that's like all it does. I mean, you're either rifle, beam saber, or Vulcans. So I mean, I think I personally think it's fine. I mean,
It's like
you
a
have,
really expensive
control.
like GM sniper that has piercing.
Yeah. I mean, if they like, it might not be canonical, but if they'll make it weaker, I think keep it the same and give it an anti-self, so it's more susceptible to like stealth raids, and that would make the suit a bit worse.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Beyond
know.
that, it's just gonna do the same shit. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I've been wanting to get it because that's one I don't have. So
I don't
kinda.
get it either.
Gunner's
I'm
really good.
kinda-
I think as a support play, you'd love it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, especially the anti-stealth. Just saying, like that. Yeah. So I don't know how they would nerf
Because
that,
of
though.
the anti-stealth, a lot of raids tend to shy away from like bossing up on them. So most of the time I have to go in with generals and just be like, I gotta disrupt your fire at least. Something
Yeah.
has to happen to this guy.
Well, people really don't even play stealth raids that much in 400 anyway, though.
No.
Just the Zaku kind of made it obsolete to begin with, and the Gunner Gunna made it even harder.
Yeah,
They
that's
get blown
true.
up so quick.
Because honestly, like I think if they got rid of the anti-stealth, it wouldn't make too big of a difference.
Probably not. Yeah.
It'd just make it easier for me,
mean,
which I'm okay with.
The knocked as it is, people like run super aggro most of the time anyway. Like there are very few, unless they're going out of their way to single people out in like other like lanes, like on city or something like that. More often than not, they're in the mix, and they'll just swoop in because they have the speed and just fuck people up.
Yeah, the Noct has been giving me a lot of pain in ranked. I always see that. I see the anti-radar. I'm like, oh, murderous intent. Where is he at?
Yep.
Where's that intent? Let's go.
Murderous intent. That's real.
Yeah, you can sense their aura in the area. It's like you pretty much become an anime character.
New type. Oh, where they at?
This power, where is it coming from?
One interesting thing that Chad is talking about with it to keep in mind is, which this is kind of what they've been doing to begin with, but a lot like usually whenever they nerf suits, it has to do with the win rate or how well it's doing in rated matches and stuff. Yeah. And like there are definitely some cases where that's fine. I think they need to do a double review with it. But then you have cases like where you have like a suit that is good and it's not good because it's broken. It's just a solid suit, like the Gunner Gundam, and it's getting caught in the dragnet essentially.
Yeah.
There's like they just like check, oh that suit's doing really well. Let's go ahead and nerf some stuff on it. and then they just kind of make a suit that's, in my opinion, in a fine spot at the moment, just worse because of it. But granted, I don't know. There could be something else we're not taking into consideration. I really haven't done any comparisons of the.
But that is a dangerous thing about that kind of nerfing stuff, and I think that's originally why they were promising to do adjustments by buffing, just because they didn't want to end up in that situation. And if they do follow that trend, that's not the only suit that's going to get their hooks in on, and that's going to be kind of rough going forward. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out on. Maybe if they stop apologizing and actually following up on that policy, we won't see that happen in the future. Or if they do, they might renege on some of that and just do something else with the suit.
Well, I mean, they're already doing it already, aren't they? Because I mean, because they're already stopping the whole improvement via buffs and not nerfs just by doing this. Like it almost makes you wonder, like, why don't they just not make, like, I think there's some of that that need to be changed.
It's just
Maybe
weird
they
that they
should
said it in the
do it
notes
like this
again
and do
to
something
like
different.
reiterate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was weird. Which I will say, I'm kind of surprised that they are buffing the Efreet. Well, I guess that's the custom, and then the BD1
or whatever. Well, if they're gonna nerf Hades, they gotta adjust the suits to make up for it.
Yeah, where they're nerfing the exam, they're buffing those two at least, and then they're also, which this is an idea of what's getting nerfed on the Hildolfer, is probably the tank mode in some way, because
That'd make the most sense to me.
Assault gun tank is actually getting a buff, and it says due to the downward revision of the Hildolfer, or in this case the Hildolboos.
Hildolboos? I mean, and that's fair, because I don't see a lot of people using the assault, and I don't know if that's just because a lot of people don't have it, or if they just started getting the Hildolfer and were like, well, I don't need to use it anymore.
I think right off the bat, like, the Hildolfer was just kind of a more superior assault gun tank.
What's the cost?
They're about the same cost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
400,
yeah,
450.
Like less tools, but more output damage, like, for sure, I would assume.
Yeah, after playing with both,
thing.
I personally think the assault gun tank is strictly worse than the Hildolfer. Personally.
It's just something that you have to hustle harder to make that output, but it just puts you in so many more dangerous situations to do it.
The standard Gundam is getting a buff.
You got to keep Grandpa relevant.
Yep.
Always.
I think that's just a precursor to
give it a 600 Grandpa.
Yeah, it's a precursor to the next level of Grandpa Gundam.
I just want to see 700 Grandpa going up again. Get to that point.
Okay, gun cannon getting a buff.
I can say that.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't need a buff.
The standard one.
Yeah, it does.
The standard one.
Interesting. I felt that's interesting. Like
I don't
like
think
the gun cannon, maybe more health or something. Like it does suck.
Maybe
that
a little health.
It has to be something minor. It has to be something minor.
Little health,
or
defense.
solid.
Yeah, I think it's
it
great.
Still hits like a fucking truck. Like,
yeah, if they do any buffs to damage, that's dumb. But I will say, compared to like the mass production with like 13k life, it's only got 11. So you get any raid on you with the gun cannon, you are just done. Especially the prototype, it double slash. That's half your health in one downswing.
You got to give him that roundhouse, man.
Oh yeah, the roundhouse kick is legit. Which okay,
I don't know. It always makes me sad.
The enhancement, the last enhancement on the gun cannon is melee modifier.
Yeah.
Puncher cannon. Puncher cannon. What's wrong?
Gotta give him the boot.
Hell yeah.
Which I will say, its left and right kick are insanely fast.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, because it has balancers. So it can boost, come out of that and see if you can catch somebody.
It's actually pretty legit with how fast it is. You can beat raid types.
I absolutely love just like boosting up to like an Efreet Kai, and he's like busy, and I just kick him in the back and a down swing. He just falls over.
I've done that, but like I always get burned when I try to roundhouse kick people. Like I've never beaten priority on a roundhouse kick.
That's probably lag. Even if you connect. No, I mean that's just like raw like weapon priority at that point.
Yeah. But it's probably lag why I get some of my kicks off before some of the other raid type melees. That's probably the only reason. But
I would find it funny if somebody was able to just say, "Oh yeah, let's just have a gun cannon leg, like have a higher priority than an Ifrit custom sword."
That would be amazing.
Just for shit. Because who would even bother to find out?
I think it'd get out pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, it
Just
probably
one
would.
person does like a recording, like, what the fuck, you guys?
Yeah, no, that would get out quick. I would be posting that if that got out. I'd be like,
If
look
that
at this.
happened.
This is my favorite thing ever. Yes, finally, I win. But then we have the the Gun Cannon 2 getting a buff.
That's good. I'll take that.
It definitely needs better
Show that
charge
piece
time.
some love.
I agree. With the Gundam out, I think the Gun Cannon 2 should be improved a little bit.
Oh yeah, the charge time. If they don't up that charge time, I'm going to be very disappointed. Or if not, just make the damage just ridiculous.
I mean, even not even so much the gunner, but also the GM cannon too.
I'm surprised that's not on the list, unless it is.
Well,
unless they change
well,
it.
not even for bus, but just the idea that it has to compete with that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, but they fill different roles out though. Like, I don't know. I haven't played with it, but the GM Cannon 2 feels. I mean, is it more of a sniper? Like, how much like a cannon suit does it play? Because I would compare the Gun Cannon 2 to like Sniper Custom, GM Sniper 2, Gunner Gundam, and GM Cannon 2 looks like a cannon support suit.
Yeah, like
yeah,
a mass
and I mean,
production
it
type.
still isn't it. And on top of that, it doesn't have the arc or anything. So when you aim up and nail something, you're just gonna nail it.
Yeah,
But,
it's a beam. It's beam cannon, so it's going to be linear.
Right, but I mean, like, regardless if it's linear or curved, does it play like a cannon support in regards of the play style, or is it more of a sniper?
It can, but I think it has more range.
I think it's more
That's
of a
something I'd have to
mid-range,
look at.
but it does have range. Like you could play it as a sniper, but it's
And
tanky.
most people do
like,
play
the
it
stats
like
are
a
tanky.
cannon type. Like I
Okay.
would say that. Like that's fair.
Because I mean, like, if it's a cannon type, I would even compare it to suits because, like, even though they're both supports, they fill a different role. So it'd be unfair to the GM Cannon 2, in my opinion, to compare it to that suit.
I mean, it's unfair, but it also has to be approached by the same kind of suits, and it
That's
does need
true,
those
but-
improvements in order to be able to keep up with those guys.
That's true, but I mean,
Well,
at
hopefully
that
they-
point, you kind of just come down to where like certain maps are better with different types. I feel like cannon suits are pretty good. Like cannon style suits are pretty good in like most maps, but there are a few like where a sniper suit kind of has a bit of an edge. Like I think some cases city map, depending on the team comp and stuff like
City or
that.
maybe port
having
base, things like that.
Yeah, having a sniper comp can somewhat outweigh having a more of a cannon like gun cannon-y type of setup.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I would kind of like draw the line between like the comparisons. Like because I get the overall like they're all supports, they should be like considered, but just like how League has roles and some like champions fill a role differently than others. Like I feel like we should look at the mobile suits in that same regard too.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
fair.
Whoa, wait a minute.
What
Jim
happened?
Cannon. Oh, okay, never mind.
Is it the
Somebody
regular
was
or is
saying-
it the?
I was about to say, Jim Cannon 2 can't use beam spray. Somebody was saying, I think Corraz was saying something about using a beam spray gun.
It's
I'm
got
like,
the. It's like,
He's
what are
talking
we-
about the GM. He's talking about the standard GM cannon.
the GM.
He might just thought we weren't talking about the two.
Yeah. The other thing too with the two, I would probably compare it with where I took it into a practice game just to try it out. I would kind of compare it to just reverse the guns as far as what type, being beam and projectile, for the Mudrock. So
Yeah.
that would probably be.
Yeah, I feel that.
That would probably be a good comparison as to what it is.
That'd be awesome if it was actually Scooty like that.
Then we got a buff to the GM Sniper 2. I'm guessing just base stats, something.
Eh.
That'd be cool, I guess. Slave Wraith is getting a buff.
oh, finally.
I think it
It
needs
needed
it. Yeah. Like right now, all it is just a gimmick. That's pretty much all it's got going for it.
It's
a
not a
meme
good
gimmick.
premise though, because the Camuff definitely capitalizes on it a little bit better.
Did it ever say anything about getting any new skills?
I mean, they might, but they just said they're just generally buffs.
Yeah, because I think it's real basic, right?
Yeah, we probably won't
Mhm.
get that till we get the detailed notes, and even then,
Right.
some of they won't tell us the numbers.
Until we find out just by like raw data.
Yeah.
Right. Man, because
Then, oh, go ahead.
because I really, because it already has reactive armor, giving it maneuver armor would be kind of dumb. I honestly think it really does need a dodge roll.
For which
Because
suit again?
the Slave Wraith.
Hmm.
Because there's multiple situations where the reactive armor is helpful, but they're like I've been in I know that it's supposed to be a stealth-like suit, and you're supposed to infiltrate a lot of areas with it. It's just that I've found, like, even watching my own teammates during some matches, like, there would be situations where a dodge roll would have really helped.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
And I don't think the explosive armor really. I mean, it helps, but I think the dodge roll would give it an extra oomph in terms of survivability.
like, I think it does need something because literally the last game I just played, before, wait, was that the all support? Either way, the one that I had all support, it might have been the one before. But point being,
Were they doing that in ranked?
yeah,
Come
this
on.
was ranked. Yeah, man, I've gotten all supports, dude. I got all Akai's in one game. No, I didn't.
Let's go. Okay, that would be funny.
Like, but yeah, I've
200
been seeing
score,
all.
like, easy
No,
mode.
seriously though, one of my best scores was with all support team. It was like 14 something.
Jesus.
Yeah, like it's legit. But anyway, so we did have one Afreet. We did have one guy that wasn't up for the meme. But so the Slave Wraith comes around the corner. I just got wrecked by the enemy team. I poked out too far trying to kill the guy at E or F or whatever. And I think it's F. And we're on Deserted City. So Slave Wraith coming around behind, trying to be that sneaky whatever. I ping need support, and then like three of us went. He shot me like twice, so I'm down to like 3,000 health maybe, and I managed to take him out completely before he could do anything to me, and he was hitting me with everything. The only thing he didn't do was get in close enough to melee me after he staggered me. That was pretty much it. So, like, that feels pretty bad for that guy because he was hitting me with stuff, and I still was just able to delete him no problem. And I mean, I had like 900 health and my legs were shot, but I still defeated him from 3,000, and it wasn't like he was just missing all of his shots.
Mm.
So I think
How
that's
far away was he when the fight started? I mean, I don't know.
he was pretty far. He was like, so there's A in that long hallway of the road. He was at the end of the hallway on the other side of A, and I was at this side. So he was hitting me with that stuff. So again, if he was closer, he probably would have won, but he just couldn't get in close enough in time. So I don't know. I was at my last fourth of a health bar. And
You were with support too, right?
yeah, it was a mass production versus the Slave Wraith. So
Gotcha.
I should have advantage, but I don't know if I should have killed him because he was pretty high health when that.
I mean,
fight
I could see
started
it being a thing. Were you staggering him too? Like,
I was
not
missing shots
proximity?
too. That was the thing. I was. Oh yeah, that's
Gotcha.
right. I can't stagger him on that first shot. That's what it was. I remember complaining about that. Yeah. So
Well, you can, because all you have to do is hit him and not do the splash. It doesn't I don't think it has maneuver armor. I'm pretty sure it's just explosive reactive.
okay, so I just got him directly. Okay, but
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
I think I just missed then. Oops. But yeah, still he should have been able to kill me. And I was just like, wow, this thing does no damage to me at all. Again, type advantage, fair enough, but I feel like it just needs a little bit more. In that situation, I definitely could see it needing a boost of some kind. Just
Like,
give
it
me
doesn't
anything.
damage.
It doesn't run quite as aggressively or have a gun that people respect super hard like the Kamuf. So they can't really do it on the front lines unless they have like decent backup. And then you infiltrate, right? You get in behind them. Some people swivel. All right, now what do? Are you just gonna book it and hope they don't chase you down and kill you, or are you actually gonna try to throw down with what you have?
Yeah, I mean, he was just trying the poke strategy is pretty much all he was doing once we saw that he was there. But we were all supports, so of course
She just got
everybody's
decimated.
yeah, everybody's like, I
So
mean,
that's like a rough
support
example,
mentality.
because all they have to do is
Yeah.
kick back once they find him, and like
Yeah,
he melted. But even beyond that, you have, say the support gets finds him out. You have a couple generals or raids zoom in on him and keep him from moving, and you just whomp him on the floor, and that's it.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
like,
because I mean, I think the support has a pretty good advantage against it. Was he using the rocket launcher or ground type beam rifle?
he was using the beam rifle. That's another thing. So
That's a little
yeah.
rough.
So I mean, he's doing less damage. You've got pretty good range as long as you, and like, you are like top 10 in the world or something like that in ranked. But like, you might just be selling yourself
100,
short.
172 right now, I think.
I'm not too
Well,
far off from you.
I'm
I think I was at like
I'm at 12K.
I think I was in the 170s because I'm at 11 and some change right now.
Oh, you're probably down to like
I was like
200 or
barely
300 now.
when I got off. I was in the 100s, but it may go down now because more people are playing or whatever. But
Yeah.
I noticed that I was like really close to breaking top 100. But that's just us, like, like humble bragging.
Yeah,
but I actually
just a little bit.
I wanted to follow up, Maniac. Do you think like your reason that you think the slave wraith is in a weird spot is because of shotguns being so prevalent in the meta?
Kinda.
Because I mean, personally, I played as slave wraith a lot. Like, I don't know how many games I've had to check my Hangar, but there was a point in time where I was playing slave wraith a good bit. And I mean, there are some games where you get dunked on, but I've played my fair share of games where, like, explosive reactive lets you get away some crazy stuff. I think the slave wraith is definitely better at mid to close range, just because the toolkit supports it. Because I like chat's kind of saying it too, but I honestly think, and I could see this being realistically all they change with it. Anything more would be like just an extra bonus. But I honestly think that just a second swing, like melee combo control level 1,
that would help
make the
for
slave
sure.
wraith like infinitely better. Because there have been times where, like, I with one extra swing, because like chat was saying that the ground type Gundam,
Yeah, they threw that bone
got
to the
improved in
ground
that
type.
manner.
Oh yeah, that's huge on the ground type.
And because that seems, with that precedent, that seems like a realistic change. And I think, and like shotguns suck for everybody, but like I think that puts in a good spot. Shotguns, maybe more health, I don't know, but like I personally think the slave wraith is good at its range. Like in Magnum's example, he was at like the ground type beam rifle gives it a little bit of an edge, but I mean, without being able to close the gap and bully Magnum, like, honestly, even at 6,000 or whatever starting HP, the mass produced would probably win that fight most of the time anyway. So like, it was like, I personally think that was a skewed example in favor of the support still, just because of reduced damage and stuff like that.
But I didn't know it actually only had one melee too, so that's another thing. Like when I was talking about getting close, I was expecting 2 melees, so
so you either has to
probably
commit to
still
that
wouldn't have killed
downswing or
me.
just like you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I probably would have still killed him either way. I mean, that makes me feel even worse about the slave wraith anyway, because half the time I get melee twice by like a general type. I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm standing up and I'm going to do twice the damage you just dealt to me, as long as I can rotate faster than where you're at. So that's one thing I don't like about Exaku, is they're pretty quick. They can out maneuver my rotation speed. Gotta get that part right.
Or just casually back away from you at normal walking speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just wiggle faster, you'll be okay.
Oh, by the way, on a side note though, I was wrong. Yeah, it is like top 10 right now with the new score, but I don't count it till the end of
Everyone
the day.
else wakes up and does it. Yeah.
Like on reset, whatever it was. So first day it was like 113, second day is like 172. So now,
what score are you at right now?
Right now I'm at 12,000 something.
I'm at 10,705. I'm top for my
just
group.
hasn't updated yet.
That's about it.
Yeah, because if you're at 12, I mean, like, I'm at 11, so that should be putting me up there too.
I'm at I'm at 15th place right now. Looks like, actually, now that it's updated.
That's not bad.
I'm at 686. Man, it suck.
How many points do you have, Gustav?
I'm at 10,705.
Okay, I'll check it out. But anyway, enough like tooting our own horns.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
we're trying
Which
to,
I mean,
flex over here.
it's luck though. Let's just kind of be honest on
Oh,
on
for
the
real.
point. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
luck. Like
Yeah, and I mean, even to get into like the top 50, you're having to breach like 12,000 shit like that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
So all
1,300.
these guys are
plus.
like marginally away from each other.
But like, yeah, it's definitely luck. Like it's, the only part that would be kind of skill is being able to manipulate the points so that you get first place, so that you get the
For sure.
400.
Like
That's
you
the
just
only
do
skill part.
absolutely everything to ensure that you get that first place, like
Yeah.
placement.
Honestly,
on your
in
team.
ranked, your entire team is your rival.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And there are matches where you see people play like that, and sometimes it works, but when it falls apart,
Mhm.
god damn.
Well, I
Yes,
mean,
those are some brutal matches.
well, I definitely want to get that into the rank section because like I'm playing horribly for somebody like I'm down to I just hit A minus because I'm trying to get points over a win, and that's a
Mhm.
completely different game. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't going for the win will not get you points. I mean that's just how it is. You want to deprive the other team of points, which means you want to just pull back. If they're going to win, you want to deprive them of as many points as possible. So instead of going in to try to get kills or try to win, I stay back, I support my team, I start playing kind of like a sniper support, and I stagger as many people as I can, and I try to prevent kills, and then I just run away.
Oh yeah.
Because if they don't hit 12,000 plus on their score, they're not gonna. Nobody on that team, if they're in the top whatever, they're not gonna beat me at that point because they haven't hit 15,000 score a game, and that just, I mean, it feels bad as far as people who want to get their rating up, but I want to hit the top of that scoreboard, man. I want that 100 tickets. I'm just saying. I want my 100 recycle tickets. So
Give it
It's
a
just just top 10 for the tickets, right? I can't remember how they're
It's-
rewarding the tickets.
100 tickets in first place. Yeah, I think it's top 10 for most of the. Oh wait, no, for the tickets, does it go all the way to 20? I don't know. I'll
'Cause
pull that up.
I can't remember like the global rewards. Like I thought most of it was just based on your current bracket.
Mhm.
Thought I already
Because
had
first
it pulled
place
up.
in your bracket gets you the platinum or whatever emblem, or like the passive thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm pretty hyped about that. That'll be cool. Here we go. So, top 5 will get the level 2, or if you're an A anyway. 5th and 4th place gets the level 2 recon. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st will get the level 2 and the level 3 recon. And let's see, D just minus one of the top 3 off, and then if you're all the way down, so B is 1st and 2nd will get the level 3, and then 3rd and 4th, and then the top 3 and C and the top 2 and D, and in D it's just the level 2. You cannot get the level 3 in D.
Oof.
And in C, it's just the first place person gets the level 2 and 3. For this, you get a cool little banner thing and a back piece thing. Cool. That's top 5, 4, 3, and then 2 for A to D. As far as recycle tickets, it is top 20, so it's everybody. If you get 16 through 20, you're 20 tickets. 11th, 15th is 30. 6th to 10th is also 30, 40, 40. And that's 5th, 4th. So the top 3 is 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. 100 being 1st, 75 2nd, 50 3rd, and 40 and 40. So, and then it kind of goes down by 10 from there. And if you're D and you're in the last 11 to 20th, is 5 tickets. So, and then the DP, really, I'm kind of surprised they didn't put more DP as a reward. Like 30K for 1st and A is kind of.
I don't know.
Weak.
Well, you have to.
It might just be because I've been playing a while, but DP seems arbitrary to me. But sorry, good.
In terms of DP, like, I can understand why they won't give more because you already get a lot as is.
Touché.
Due to login bonuses,
Clan bonuses.
What was it? Daily logins.
Times 5's multiplier every
times
match.
5 multiplier, like,
well, first 3 rather, somewhere.
So you're gonna get like a boatload of DP anyway if you save it.
And the bigger thing is
So-
since they're adding every other update, they're putting more stuff in the DP shop as it is.
Yeah.
So if they put a big one in there, and suddenly everyone's just able to snap it up at once. So
Yep.
I don't know. I
mean,
will say this though, like there are more players. We did just hit the 1 million.
the 1 million, which is
Oh, yeah.
another
took
bit of
a
news.
while.
That's hype.
Yeah, it kind of
For
took a
good.
little bit of time, but there are more people playing, and like those any fresh faces, honestly, might be inclined to try and grind in a bracket. So like having DP for them is a bit more
Yeah.
lucrative too. Because I go to my
Right.
shop and I see empty pages on all my DP stuff except for accessories. But like those guys have a mountain of like a literal like list of mobile suits and weapons they have to buy. So I mean, I get why they do it. But like I said, it's just because where I am, like I could care less. They could give me 0 DP, and I honestly wouldn't care.
Yeah, which I'm kind of more in the middle ground right now. I've got a lot of the stuff I need, but I don't have the stuff that I want, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And that's like, I really want to get that Alex, but that's 100,000, 103,000, something like that. And I'm just like, well, I'm at 70K right now. I could buy that, or I could buy the useful thing. Going for the useful thing. So
Now, because like I have almost everything, like whenever people are like, "Oh yeah, this is in the DP store," I'm just sitting there with like over 1 million DP, and I'm like, "But I don't have anything in the store."
It's actually nuts because you buy the accessories too. Like Maniac, you
Yeah,
must,
I
I know
bought
you're Ishmael, so I mean, you probably get a lot of your stuff from rolls. But
yeah,
like, that's
no,
nuts.
like I have absolutely everything except for like hidden suits that would still be in the gacha system. That's
Right.
it. Like I have almost everything. And I've gotten everything from the recycle tickets mostly, except for like maybe like a few emblems. I have like almost all of the custom parts available. I have like almost all the suits except for like maybe a handful. Yeah, I have I've been hauling butt and giving Bandai a little bit of money.
Big ol' high roller.
No, I count on you, Captain. You keep the game alive.
Yep.
I will swab the decks of your ship any day,
I
Captain.
mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna throw down a shit ton of money once we get to the actual like global release anyway. So
Dude, it's just like I tell people, man. Like, go ahead, Magnum.
Oh, well, I am that free player guy who's like, if there's anything pay to win, challenge accepted. I will beat everybody with my skill over throwing any money at it. But a lot of times that doesn't work, sadly.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's just like this is a game that I've built this channel off of for like over a year now. So it's been a lot of investment, just a lot of time getting affiliate while playing this game, and being able to support it will just be nice. Throw
Yeah.
dollars every once in a while and get some suits that I actually want when the banners are hot.
Yeah, if they have like a sale on it, it's like $5-10, I'll probably do that. But that's like where I play Path of Exile. It's a free game, but I spend probably about $2 to $5 every league essentially, kind of, because I at this point I just get character slots, and then I've spent. I mean, I've played for like 7 years at this point, so yeah, I'll do the same thing with any free game. I'll support it in some way, but
That's my mentality too. I don't mind like supporting if it's something I feel like I can get behind, like because it's free.
And I like what they're doing with their balancing, and they're taking, I guess, if you want to say risk. I mean, I think this should be a thing that a lot of game devs do, but like changing maps, moving things around, shifting things a lot. I think that should be done in more things. Like, I can't stand when they don't do stuff like that in games like Call of Duty or even like CS:GO or something like that. I know they normally do new maps, and people at this point, this would be horrible to say, but if they change like Dust or something, I'd be like, okay, cool. But they finally did, and everybody was like, what? So of course that was going to happen. But anyway, as far as just the rewards, last thing for the emblem thing, I didn't know it was this steep. Top 500 is all that's getting anything. That's
So the passive emblems are global ranking. I thought it was your bracket. Okay, keep going.
So 1 to 30th. So I gotta push harder. Okay, guys, I'm playing an all-nighter tonight. Here we go.
Oh boy.
We're getting those
Let's
three
go.
1500 games. Let's go. Yeah, I'll be buying some energy drinks right after this podcast. Overall ranking though.
I guess we know who we're going to be rating then.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, I gotta go get those drinks first. So
Shoot, my
Not
scores. I'm
immediately.
playing some more after this, so my scores
And
are
I
high
might-
enough.
go ahead.
Oh, that was it.
Well, I'm probably going to be standing up and not sitting here and playing on this fantastic TV, because first input lag and B, this tiny little screen doesn't cut it for me. And I don't know why, but I play shooters better standing up than I do sitting down.
That's
So if I had a standing desk, I would be playing standing up all day. But yeah, so the 1 to 30th is platinum. You get 10% to you of container delivery or discovery rate. So that's your 10% chance to get a container at the end of a game. Hell yeah, please. Then you get 30% if you win. The entire team gets 30% DP reward. Wait, activates all teams only when winning. Okay, so I guess that means teammates, I think.
Yeah.
It works very similar to how like activating the encourage works.
Yeah.
You get it regardless, it's passive. But if you're on a team with someone that has it and they win, your teammates get like an effect from it too.
Oh, so you just get the 30%.
It stacks with encourage.
So you get
And
30%
that's how it
all the
was
time.
before we even had those emblems.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you get
I just got it with a prototype.
Yep.
30% DP, 30% XP, 30% CP, and another 5% to discovery rate of containers. Gold is 31st to 60th, and that's 8% for yourself, and then 20, 20, 20, and 3% for the team winning, and I guess you just get that automatically yourself.
I think so.
I mean, kind of the way it's reading is you don't get the winning thing unless you win as well.
I could be wrong. I mean, translate can be weird sometimes.
The emblem
but
has a special effect on the owner and all the teammates when the team wins.
Pretty sure it's just like how the encourages work now.
it could just be for W's.
Like, this
'cause
section could
think,
be for W's, but the 10%, the 8%, the 5%, and 5% for the passive container discovery, that's always going to be a thing.
Yeah, and that's more, and I think the bigger thing is that it's just constantly on you.
And bronze does
while
nothing
you
for the
have
team. And silver is 10% and then 3% for the container for the team. And that's 61st to 100th place, and 101st place to 500th place is bronze. So
I don't know. I kind of hope it works the way I think. But just because assuming that it was legitimate or whatever, those guys worked hard for it. And I think like having it affect them, like can encourage every match, rewards that. But it'd be interesting. But I'm sorry, Maniac, what were you saying?
For the oh gosh,
you said bronze container, I think.
Oh yeah, so bronze container or the bronze emblem, like what? I'm surprised that it's like almost nothing.
yeah, it's just 5% for yourself for containers, and that's it.
So if I was in like, and it only goes for what leagues was it? D and C.
No, this is overall ranking for the entire game. So if you're in the top 500 players of the game, you get these.
Okay.
If you're below 500th, then you get nothing.
Oh, that's
good day, sir.
So
yeah, I'm kind of surprised because that's if you got, assuming they thought that's how many 20 times 500 is what?
20 times 500.
Yeah.
It'd be 10,000, right?
Yeah, 10,000. So you got 10,000 expected players, and they've hit 1 million. I'm kind of surprised that that's not a bigger gap, because considering all, like, pretty much anybody that's hitting first is probably going to be in that top 500. in your bracket. But at the same time, I know a couple of brackets. They're like 9,000 right now, and they're first place, and they're gonna definitely win. So it's like, oof, you know. Or they're
There are
fighting
definitely
like
some
one or two
sleepy
people.
brackets. I will say that.
Yeah, and they're like going against like 2 people or whatever, and it's like, okay, so
Yeah,
those
there's
3
like
people are
4
fighting.
people in my group haven't even started yet.
Yeah, so I'm kind of
I
surprised that
think I have way
bronze
more than
isn't-
that.
Wow.
I think I have like about 6 people that haven't done anything
And
yet.
that's the thing about the adjustments for the averages. If you're not playing every day, then you're gonna fall behind. Especially if
Mhm.
you're
I agree
actually
with that.
trying to.
My
Like,
bracket's
there's no way to make that up.
my bracket's pretty lit as far as competition for it. It's been pretty brutal. They're like 200 points behind me with the top 3. So and then I think the top 5 is like 400, I think, is the gap. So that's a pretty big gap, luckily. But I've got a good chance at top 3 in my bracket. But I'm now wanting to shoot for these emblems. I gotta step up my game. But yeah, anyway, let's finish the balance changes before we get back more into ranked. But see, that's the thing. These are
What
even
else
though
do we
there's
got
3
for
topics,
ranked?
there's like
We talked about all of them in some way, shape, or form at the
yeah.
even
So
support salt. Support salt's a little more specific just because we might be talking about like high tier and stuff, but that's about it.
because we could talk about ranked at this point for a day probably. But the Gelgu GM Striker is actually getting a buff. I figured we finish up the
Really?
buffs balance changes here first, and then yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Do you have any idea? What would you like to see? Emblem,
If
when you
they're
play it.
That's actually really interesting. It's hard to say. Like I almost want to say like maybe a little more damage. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so
I always
rough.
remember seeing you do those strafe combos in the striker. All this hustle and all this like keeping someone locked down only for them to survive, and either someone to either job you from behind or for them to counter and then just turn the tables. Like that's just really frustrating to see because that suit is so versatile with those 2, the forked beam sabers and then just the regular. It should be able to mix it in a little bit better because right now it's just a setup suit. You got some good range with that spear, so you can reach them from places that they might not expect. And since it has that vertical slash down as well for the neutral, like that's pretty nice. But if you don't have the output to actually like finish people off, barring them already being hurt, then that's just frustrating.
Right. I almost wonder if poise control. What's the DS?
Yeah.
skill
Like
that
for the
makes it
DS, yeah.
uncounterable?
The pose,
staggerable. And
Yeah, attack pose.
the attack
or
pose.
maneuver armor melee, not unstaggerable, but like
Yeah.
I almost wonder if like just giving it poise control or whatever would kind of help it
It
out
would be
some. I
nice.
still think a little extra damage would be nice, but
It would
that would
probably
probably go a
encourage
long
people
way.
to run the scythes more too, just that they had that extra poise.
I was gonna say, do you normally run the scythe at all, or have you? I mean, what's
I personally don't like the scythe. I prefer. I think the damage output on the striker is higher with the spear personally, just because it gives you more combo potential. And from my experience, I did dabble with the scythe a little bit, not as much as I have with the spear, but in my opinion, because of the long long cooldown time between hitting with the scythe to going to swings with the beam saber, like you could probably make it work in a world where there's not a lot of like connection, or maybe against supports where they can't escape after they use up their thrust or something, assuming you can like get it in a situation where you staggered them perfectly or whatever. But like the spear readies up faster, and I mean, you as long as you don't run out of thrust, you can in theory, if like 100 to 0, like if you confirm, you can kill them and the strike with the striker using the spear, because there's enough time for you to be able to swap between both swords, or the spear and the sword, and take out a suit 100 to 0, assuming they can't roll out or whatever, you don't drop the combo.
That's actually
Like
pretty cool.
never happens, but the possibility is there.
It would be really interesting if they do buff it, and secretly this is the GM Striker has been like the Lee Sin of this game or something. They start buffing this thing, and then it's just like it becomes the most overpowered like suit. Because that sounds like a high skill cap. Like pull that.
It's gotten a
off.
lot easier. Explosive reactive has made the striker much better. Like it used. Granted, I didn't play it a lot back then. Like I played it beforehand to some degree, and a bit more after they added it. But like having the ability to resist like ground staggers lets you get away with a little bit more for sure. Kind of like when you play the slave wraith in the same regard.
Okay, that's actually pretty legit. It's a
But it
suit
can
I've
only
been
be
wanting to
good.
try. Yeah, it's a suit
fun.
I've been wanting to try. It's looks really cool, and yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to get more into raids. So right now, probably my best one is probably the Goof, and that's about it. Maybe a little BD2,
Power
but it's
accelerator
kind
would
of
be good.
overpowered. Which is that?
Chat brought up Power Accelerator. I think that would be a good one too. It's the one that lets you react faster after a clash. That one wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That'd
it's
be
a
cool.
striker. It should just have that by
Yeah,
default, but
It really should have had it off the bat.
One
But
one other thing to consider too, they could be buffing it by doing something to the space striker that got leaked. Like maybe it comes out and they're gonna have a skill on it that in theory should also be on the
like
the
a
ground striker.
retroactive once that actually
Right, kind
drops.
of like how they added skills to new suits and then put them
Yeah.
on like other versions later.
Mhm.
That could be something that's happening, and they're just throwing it in the buff list.
Right now,
as
but
well
they're
or
just being
something.
big.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty legit. Next on the list is the Gelgoog.
Mass
Is
production
this buff or nerf?
There's
Buff.
a lot
This
of
is still buff. All
Okay.
the rest of this is buffs, and then we're done.
What is it specific on which Gelgoog?
Just
Is
the
it just the
Gelgoog.
normal-
It's just the
Normal
Gelgoog.
Gelgoog. Okay.
And they're also doing the advanced mass production type Gelgoog. So I guess that's the early.
Yeah, the
No,
early.
would that be advanced? Oh, I guess it
Well,
would be
Let's see.
advanced mass
I
production.
think that's the early production type, right?
Yeah,
That's the
I
name
mean, it
of
still
it.
has production in the thing, so yeah.
Yeah,
the
I was
early-
gonna say that's the only one I know that we have. So I'm guessing that's just the early production type. So
I guess so.
they're
because it
buffing
was
both
made
of those.
in advance of the mass production version, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's just the naming convention.
So I'm
Goofy,
guessing,
Right, it
but-
could be a translate issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably a translate issue. So I think that's early production and the normal Gelgoog. I mean, cool, I guess. I know a
Yeah.
friend of mine will be happy. I normally am not a Gelgoog guy, even though I really like them.
love
I'm a
Gelgoog.
fan of the suit. I'm a huge fan, but not the best at playing them.
The
Mass
first
production's been pretty nice, so it'll be interesting to see what they do to it.
I started off with the early production type
Mm.
and never went back. I never went to a different Gelgoog after that, except for the Marine, because once the Marine and the Jaeger came out, then I was like, oh cool, some support and raid types of it.
I need to get into the Jaeger a bit myself. I need to get better with that suit.
I still
It's
want
really
the
good for
one-
counter sniping supports.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Go ahead, Gustav. Sorry about that.
I still want the what was the one that came out for the anniversary? Stardust.
Seema's
Seema's
Gelgoog?
type?
Yeah,
Seema's
the
Yeah,
commander
commander
type.
type.
I still don't have that. I want to rock that one day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's
That
pretty
looks
legit.
pretty
That's
Because
a
I've been
good one.
putting in surprising amount of work with the early production 500 cost and unrestricted. Because you boss up with that charge shot, you just have the machine gun in the meantime, and if they get too close, just swing on them. So
Oh,
it's got a good amount of versatility on it. I like having that extra sub MG.
So Mecha Nerd asked me if I don't use the Hymo Goog. No, I use it a lot. I just kind of forgot to mention it. That's all. I use it now. Most of the time, I'll end up, using something other than that, though. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the Hymo Goo is actually in a cost range where I have a lot of other suits that I prefer more. It's also one of the only Gelgoogs that I still run the bazooka on, just because it has that speed to close in, and I can just start swinging away after I actually connect the bazooka. So, but most other things, The slow but deliberate kind of movement style that it has is good for lining up shots with that rifle. That's one of the things I actually appreciate about the Gelgoog line in the first place. And it's one of the things that got me more acclimated to using beam weapons that are a bit slower, say the Alex or something like that.
Yeah. The Hymo.
Well, what do you guys think is going to be changed?
That's the hard thing to say. I mean, maybe more speed. I mean, that's one of the other things. It's a big,
ask you
slow,
this.
plodding suit, and I mean, the mass production in particular. If they do the speed, then they would have to amp the Hymo, I would assume, or it's just going to be very
Mhm.
minuscule.
Yeah.
It's pretty beefy. It has good damage output, so it's just like maybe melee at most, or maybe something that has to do with it, but that's about it.
Well, I don't keep up. Do the Gelgoogs have leg buffer?
No.
That
I
might
can't-
be
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
that's
can see it just
probably it.
being. I can see it just
That'll
being
be
leg
it.
buffer. Honestly,
that'll be
That's true.
The
I-
Hymo definitely would need the leg buffer.
or maybe they'll take the shield off the Gelgoog's fucking back.
Please let it happen.
Oh my gosh.
I think the
Let it
reason
be on its
why-
arm. Just
I
put
think-
it on its arm.
I think the reason why they threw it on the back was to differentiate the commander type. I think that's
think it was a
really
space
what it was
thing.
for.
The Hymo does have the leg buffer,
Yeah,
by the way.
that's fair too. Just because you had the back instead of the leg for the defense, so that's actually pretty nice when you're doing it in space.
Yeah, the Hymo has the leg buffer and the other two don't. So that's probably what they're gonna do.
Oh,
Yeah, I could see them just
That's
adding
fair.
a leg buffer.
I mean, as far
It's
as
like,
stats
I mean, I don't
go,
Goog a lot. Hmm.
as far as stats go, they look really solid. I mean, yeah, it just looks like a solid suit. And
that's the
and
big
then the
deal
shield
about
on
the
the back.
Gelgoog. Even
Why?
in the show, was like it was their new main line. It just had high performance across the board. It was very versatile and was one of their more successful programs. Of course, it came when everything was crashing and burning, so it didn't help too much. But
Well, and then you also had Makuve being an a-hole about how his Gian was better than the Gelgoog.
you got the love child though. The Gabaldi Alpha and Beta came out around like debuted at least in Zeta later on.
Look at this
Yeah,
vase.
Loading.
Leding. So
I don't know.
many
I don't think the shield is like terrible. Like
It's
honestly,
just goofy.
I don't know if they'll do it. They should let you like pick back
Yeah.
or arm, but that'll never happen.
Yeah.
because they had to do it for every suit. Then, depending on like other Gelgoogs that had to be able to do it, any other suit were like it being modular and applicable, they'd had to let you do it, and it's just like,
But then how would they... Now here's my question. How would they make it as a button action?
they just do.
Well,
Just
no,
be
I
a
mean-
whole-
I mean, like...
Well, I mean more of a pre-fight loadout thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
pre-fight loadout. Okay,
Quick
I was
swap,
about
yeah.
to say, like... Okay, that would make sense, but I
Yeah, like,
I hear
not-
what it
not
is sounding
mid-game.
like.
That
I
would
was
be
about to
kinda-
say...
That'd be
I was-
dope. I would like that.
Hey, wait,
but I
wait,
don't
wait.
think they'd let you.
They could. That would probably be the way that they would do it if they did. You use the same thing that you do to go into like exam or transform. You just
I was about to say use the...
Yeah, that's
But-
awesome.
essentially a
but-
transform button.
But you also have to think about this, though. BD2, 3, and 1 have shields.
Big shields, or at least the 3
So-
does.
Well, no, all 3 BD units have shields.
I mean,
so,
this would be
like,
just a
how would
Gelgoog
that...
thing, or this would just be
Mm.
for this
Oh, okay.
Gelgoog or whatever. You know, that would just be kind
Okay,
of a.
that would... Okay.
I was thinking that would be across the board if they let it for the Gelgoog, but this is all
I agree. I mean,
hypothetical anyway.
Yeah, like I kind of agree with you there. Like the way I would imagine it working is they would have to add a skill to the game,
Mhm.
like how exams and transformation skill. If it's not in the list, it's probably a hidden skill. I can't really remember, but I would see them adding a skill for it. And I mean, why can't my GM put his shield on his back? You know, why can't Grandpa Gundam do it? Like I don't think it's like I don't think it's realistic. It's not impossible, but I don't think they'll do it just
Yeah.
because that's so general. Just like people talked about like certain mobile suits dropping their weapons in order to get buffs a long time ago in the past. And like I was saying, and I said the exact same things. Like, well, if they add that to that suit, like I think
They
the
gotta do
cam
retroactively
move,
that
or not
every-
the cam move. I think the camphor was the example, because like I think in War in the Pocket, it, like, you know, drops its weapons and switches to some of its other like massive arsenal or something,
Yeah.
and like it gives you a speed boost or like increases your turn speed. And my thing was just like, well, why can't I do that on Grandpa Gundam as well? Like he can drop his bazooka. Amuro throws his shield away like every episode.
Every other
Right.
mission. Not
Yeah.
to mention, sometimes they yeet like their beam rifles and either shoot it with something else, or sometimes they'll yeet their fucking beam sabers and shoot it,
Beam confused.
and it'll just, you know, explode.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, yeah,
So I've always thought that was kind of weird, and I wonder if it's because research wise they just had a carte blanche on a lot of these things, or they were just willing to throw this hardware, or if it was just the mentality of the pilot's more valuable, you need to keep this guy in the suit around.
what I would
But
like.
yeah, they would just throw rifles at each other, and even if they have energy caps, like,
yeah.
oh man, I
Funny.
will fuck it.
It's funny you say that. One of the DOMs in GVS has one of its range skills is it throwing its giant bazooka at you.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
So I could see that.
See, now that's something interesting. Like, what if? Now I know this is going to sound dumb, but like, what if you just like ran out of ammo in your like giant bazooka, and you're just like, well, shit, and just throws it out.
Imagine that being a secondary melee weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Or just having
Take your
like
gun and
a.
hit them with it.
Oh, I could definitely.
I mean, when
see,
Zeta
like,
comes
that.
out, it'll pretty much be doing that with the large beam saber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just take your bigger rifle and just.
So something that does do that right now is actually the GAN-EOS.
It sure does.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's true.
So it's not unprecedented. It'd be hilarious, and I hope that they do have the big beam
Oh yeah.
saber
Hopefully.
just as an
Surely.
alternate. So it could
Throwing
be
your
like
gun would
another.
be funny too.
Yeah.
Could you imagine ammo for that? Like you throw your bazooka and, and your mobile suit just like picks one up from somewhere, and it just has this bazooka back.
That would be interesting because they've always talked about only certain suits had very like adaptive hand modules to be able to pick up and interface with other weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So like being able to yeet things, maybe pick up certain items but not others. That's a lot of extra intricacy that I can never see them doing.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that would
like-
be hilarious.
They're
Oh my
there to
gosh.
separate space and ground. Like we're gonna have 3
Yeah.
game types. Where it's like
And
Roam
just different
around,
weapon
pick
types
up-
and compatibilities. Like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
not
Oh
get
gosh.
too crazy here.
I
We
think
gotta
But
talk
you're
about, like, a
I
fully
will
paid
say-
yeah,
game.
you're theory crafting Gundam battle royale.
I will say,
Gustav.
oh
That'd
gosh,
be hilarious.
yes.
That'd be let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. But real quick. I will say, if any of these ideas happen, it is proof they watched this.
Right.
Yeah, then the
Because-
next developer knows like we're gonna add a skill where you can swap the shields around. We thought long and hard about it on Tuesday.
Oh, dude,
That was a
yeah.
really good idea.
It's gonna be like, I don't know. Well, it would have been Wednesday for them at this point.
Yep, you sons
true,
of
true.
bitches.
So it's Wednesday. Like,
No, don't say that, Gustav. Battle Op devs, thank you for watching.
Yes.
I'm glad
Yes.
the podcast is helping you
Yes.
guys. That's what
How
we're here
dare.
for.
that is amazing.
Just make sure you
Actually,
have your
talking about that, like I wonder if because they had that site set up for the voting when we were doing it for the suits. I'm
Mhm.
wondering if they're actually going to have another English site for keeping up with the updates when it actually drops over stateside.
What
Yeah,
already
they
is
do.
one.
Yeah, that where they had their voting, that is their URL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
so I
that's the
figured, like,
website
have
now.
they updated it since then? Like, have they added other
No,
stuff?
they
to it?
haven't. No,
That's what I'm
it's
wondering
still
if they're actually
sitting
going
there.
to follow up after that. Like,
Yeah, I
that would
looked at
be
it like a week ago.
an eye out. That'd be nice. I hope that they do something like that, or at least maybe a redirect to like something that's a little bit better in terms of the translations. Because
Well, do you
having
think
to
they would
like,
just direct them to the current English JP site?
and that's the
Probably,
other
that's-
possibility, and that would suck because that's super limited. And I would
Yeah.
hope that they wouldn't do that, but ideally and more realistically, that's probably what they would do.
But here's something interesting. So because of the game have like I said before in the previous podcast, how they did that one update and revamped the wording, I'm honestly thinking once the US release drops, I'm honestly wondering if they're going to have a dev team work on the English option of the website after that.
It's possible.
I mean,
Because-
Maniac, what you're saying was honestly what I was going to say in regards to what Gustav was talking about. I mean, it's just a side priority because there's no like official Western player base yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Right.
literally, the game comes out and they just have somebody that can actually focus on updating the
Yeah.
English side.
Update the
And, like,
URL
they
and
already-
just go all in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they already have it. They would just, because like I think right now it's about a week behind. Like the most recent update's on the 11th. So I mean, they would just keep it up to date with JP, and I don't think they really need to make a new domain
No.
or anything like that. Maybe like you said, change it, take the JP out, make it just
Yeah.
GBO2.com or whatever.
Probably.
But I think they're already fine in that regard.
Real quick, as far as the balance, Agzaku Commander was something we already got on the 12th. Anybody play that?
I wish I had it.
I don't have one.
I
really
have
want it.
I have it, but I haven't played it in a
So-
while.
Give me your suit.
I
Give
tried
to
it.
me.
I didn't really feel the difference. So I know they buffed the damage of the
Axes.
dual Heat Hawk thing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
cool. But it's kind of to compensate for the nerfs, because it also gets the nerfs for the Agzaku beam rifle as well.
BR,
and that's,
yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing.
brutal.
So now it's just like, you get that one shot and you better get that melee off. Otherwise, rip. But
Mm-hmm.
as far
Gotta
as the
make
suit
it count.
overall, the damage just felt insane. I hit a support, and yeah, I just deleted it. Like, it felt like DS levels of just gone. I was just like 1, 2, boom, and it was dead. And I was just like, okay, well, this is good. I don't know if it was this good before, but it definitely deletes supports now. Just one combo somebody. It's pretty good.
I'd love to use it.
It's the only thing is just the Agzaku beam rifle to me now feels like I was already bad enough with it. Now I'm just like impossible with it at this point. So I'm just kind of like, I either need to
Yeah,
play it for
because
2
now
weeks
those
straight.
blown shots are like punished more, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
sucks.
And especially on that thing too, because like your damage is now in your dual Heat Hawk
Mm.
thing, and it's just like, yeah, pretty rip. As soon as you
I
miss
don't see
that,
what
you're
the
like,
problem is,
time to
Magnum.
run.
It sounds like you're just explaining hashtag raid life at this point. Like, what's the problem again? Like, it's like, what, this raid has a stun, like, and they gave it more damage on its melee weapon, like, what's the hate? It sounds awesome to me. Like,
Fair
it's
enough.
good.
Fair enough. I'm just
Back in my day, raids had to stagger with a machine gun. Okay,
I am the
unless you're like the Zaku one.
oh my gosh, that's wow. I mean,
It's
yeah,
true.
fair enough. I'm thinking
Or you were a
back. I'm
goof.
like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
and then
that's
yeah,
that's
and
the
then
thing.
also the Matsunaga has to stun with a machine gun and have any it doesn't have a bazooka or any stun locking mechanisms except for its one hit knockdown axe. Or was it a or
It's
was it
definitely more
staggers to
opportunistic
a
in that
knee.
way.
it staggers, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I think it's pretty good.
Mm.
It's got a lot of damage. You know, you just delete a health bar with like what, an 8k swing on a downswing, or like, you know, you could just do the 9k swing with the new thing. So yeah, we'll talk about that here in a sec. I had a little
They go full Viking.
yeah. But yeah, the last one on the list here is the Dom Cannon, which I do not have and I really want. It's getting buffed.
So the multi-type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it's getting
The-
buffed?
Yeah, the double gun one, or the dual cannon, is getting buffed.
Oh.
So
That's hype. I was like,
I have it. I've played it a little bit.
Interesting.
I kind of wonder. I don't think I've played it enough to say for sure, because its main armaments are the high mobility rocket launcher or whatever it's called,
Yep.
ooh,
and the God, what's the other one? Is it one of the machine guns? I don't think it's literally the Zaku machine gun, is it?
No, it's the one with the grenade launcher.
Is it the
I
MMP80? Or not the
MMP80
No,
grenade?
I think
no, it's not the MMP80. I'm thinking
No,
of the
it's the Zaku, but it is one with the grenade launcher.
Yeah, I was about to say it's the Zaku machine gun with the grenade launcher. Is it the
it is the normal
MMP80?
machine gun.
That's what I thought. I thought it was the normal machine gun.
Okay.
Oh wait. Oh no, it's the normal machine gun without the grenade launcher.
Oof.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if it
That's
already
right.
has a bazooka and the
Uh.
cannon, then that's already a lot of stuns. If it had
Well,
a
do you
grenade
you have to
launcher,
choose between the two?
Yeah.
So like,
Oh,
that would be a
Yeah.
thing. But like, I think I'm pretty sure like chat's right. It is just the Zaku machine gun. Because I remember when I was first playing with it, I was using the machine gun to supplement cannon shots. Like it'd be interesting. So it's that main cannon. I think it has like I think it's secondary like launcher or not launcher. Like, I think it has wrist rockets or something like that, similar to like the desert Zaku or whatever.
Yeah, and that's pretty nice. And the shoulder cannon's pretty hype. Kind of wish I had more splash, but that's just me being sloppy, to be honest. But the rocket into cannon is still pretty solid,
Mhm.
especially with that type advantage. Both of them do bread when you
It
connect. So
sounds-
it's like,
Sounds like the Gelgu cannon is what it sounds like to me, playstyle wise.
kind of. I mean, it doesn't hit as hard as the cannon,
Yeah,
and it
but I mean, you
definitely
still
doesn't have
bazooka
the
cannon.
firing rate. So yeah, you're still altering into each other, especially since you also had those rockets to do in the interim. But you're definitely outputting a little bit faster, I would say.
Yeah.
Because you do have more rockets on yours than you do on the Gelgu cannon. That's the other
And then on
thing.
the Gelgu, you got a bit more range with the actual beam
Yeah.
cannon itself.
Not to
so-
mention that thing hits like a fucking truck
Yeah.
by design. So it's like
I hate when I
a
miss with that
little
thing.
every time. Like that's why I don't use the Unit 4 because you get the Mega Launcher and I'm just like all this build up and I'm just sitting there like I got you now and then just no, I didn't. You yeet it off somewhere else and now I gotta look stupid and stand up like, well, I should have just stuck with the hyper beam rifle in the first fucking place. That's why I end up running the Unit 5 all the time. Because at least if I like don't get a good angle or if I'm like bursting and they're just like tracking off of it, I'm like, well, I can just move to something else and not have to worry.
I kind of
Yeah.
wonder if the multi-type has leg buffer. I'm sure it does. I think like almost every Dom has the leg buffer.
All
It
DOMs are
should?
supposed to have
It
it.
should, yeah. Like
All
they
DOMs
put
are
that
supposed
in.
to have it.
I don't play enough, but I do wonder what they're gonna give it. Like I could just see it being like damage buffs, or something like that. But it's really hard to say. My plate to suit is pretty low, but I could see them just doing like some minor damage increases or something.
I've seen it quite a bit in ranked so far, and yeah, it feels like it needs to do a little bit more damage. I don't know. I just seem to be out damaging it very well with the mass production.
Wait a minute. Koraz, which DOMs don't have the buffer? Because I thought all of them, if not most of them, do.
That'd actually be interesting too. Making it a Dom support of a dodge roll, like that'd be interesting.
I was gonna say
Ooh,
that'd be
that would
hype.
be that would
Just let it
oh
do a spin.
yes.
It's kind of stupid that it can't, but
Yeah.
you know, support video game being a video game.
Balance
Hey man,
and such.
I'll take it.
I don't even think it'd be. I don't even think. I don't know. I still think it'd be like too crazy. Honestly,
I feel like
with
most
the
people
way the
wouldn't
direction
do it
is
just
going.
because they're trying to study themselves to like get those shoulder shots. But like,
I will
if
say
you
that's
had
one
the
of the
option,
things.
and if you got really too hot where you are, then yeah, it's got the speed when it boosts. It's still not that bad movement wise.
When I'm playing like the Mud Rock, I always am like, if I really need to make the shot, I'm like, okay, L2 plant, fire, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm back to doing that kind of thing. Same
Yeah,
thing with
speeding
the
around.
same thing with the is it Dom Barrage?
Mhm.
Like I love that thing, but man, do I fall off so many places. I can't tell you how many
Yeah.
times I've fallen off a mountain just being like, oh yeah, I'm dodging.
It's
I'm
also
dodging,
nice
I'm,
to have that
whoa.
damage boost when you're rocking the MG. Like if you find a good place to perch and you know people aren't gonna fuck with you for a little bit, get that extra damage, just
Oh,
help
yeah.
out more. And then, you know, if you see someone turn towards you, just stand up and be like, "Goodbye, I'm out."
But so anyway, that's pretty much all the balance changes that they talked about, and they did kind of go a little bit more over it, but I think it's pretty cool. I like the changes so far. As long as I'm really curious to see what they do with the Hades, because you got to play that Fell Rider space type. It was a lot of fun, but man, did the Hades just feel? It just felt awful. Like cool, I get 20 more damage on a raid type. That was about it, or even a general.
It's
type, I think is what it was.
it's definitely more so for when you're actually going balls in and you're just going
Yeah.
for melee. But if you're trying to use that extra perk for your range, unless you're in the ground type and you had that cannon, that's where you feel it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But other than that, like on the MG, yeah, probably not.
Well,
And that's the bigger bummer about that.
even on the space type though, the melee, you have the dual beam sabers. It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. And like I do the double swing, and it's just like that didn't do hardly any damage. What? And I look at this melee modifier, and it's really not that high. And it's like, oh well, this is kind of ripped. So that's one of my problems with it. Is like I don't feel the extra damage anywhere. It doesn't have like super hard hitting attacks, so that percentage increase is very marginal.
Right.
So I either hope they up the damage. If they're going to keep the defense decrease, they need to super up the damage on it, or lower the decrease to like almost nothing for defense, and then it should be fine.
Side note, but have we heard anything about the Xiong yet?
No, not yet.
Is that like a thing that's actually on the menu for us in any way?
It's supposed to be on the way, but like we haven't really heard.
They
The only
showed
thing
the
we've seen
banner.
is that leaked banner.
Yeah, they showed the banner at TGS, and that was pretty much it. So is that this week's, or is that whenever it? But it is coming.
Right.
Xiong is coming.
I have a feeling that it's probably going to be a little later.
I was gonna say Reaper was asking about it in my chat, so I just wanted to make sure. So I heard a
Shout out to
little bit
Team
about it,
Pink
but
and
that
our
was
Go Goog VG, by the way.
it. Yeah, I still want to
Yeah.
run that. Like, it's just not in range for rank, so it's like, well, I guess I'm not gonna be doing this for a while.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah, it's kind
that's
of
my
weird that
bummer.
they took all the other costs out of the game. Only playing 350 for a week is pretty weird. They even took space games out, which is kind of
Yeah.
awkward.
That was kind of cool though, because I think they knew, and, like, just taking that time away from people, they're probably gonna be salty and give them a lot more polite comments on Twitter. So that was probably a welcome change. I doubt there are going to be people that are too salty. You get a little bit of rank time, you just do your matches, and you don't have to win them, so that's fine.
Also, man, you look perturbed. I was just joking that why would anyone play anything other than rank?
Wait,
But
what?
I'm just being like, I'm super.
Oh, did I look
generalizing.
perturbed? I'm just. I don't
You
know
were
what
just
face
like,
I
what do
made.
you mean? Like you had like a
What do
look
you
on your face.
mean?
It's like, what do you mean?
Wait,
There's
was it-
still plenty of other cost in rated and space.
Was it like this or something? I don't
No,
know.
I don't know. Like it could have just been me. but
I
it's
just make
like,
a face in the
it's
moment
like,
a lot of times.
Nah,
It's like you had a similar looking face to mine when Maniac said that they adjusted the stun like duration on the XL2 beam rifle. Like you like kind of had a look like I did when he said that. I was like, that's not the way I remember the game playing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just figured I'd clear it up that
I was probably in my head thinking like, what do I think about this? And that was probably.
But there's still space matches.
Have fun
But
with
the
that.
space though.
No, man, I really need to practice everything in space. Like,
I still haven't
That
run the
is-
Drosy custom either, and like I want to get into juice and stuff.
I think probably my
Adult
face
type.
was. I know what my face was too now. I remember what was going through my head. It was like, man, I really want to play these different suits. I really want to play other things. I want to try this recon thing out. Where's my 200? It's not up right now. Okay, ranked. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm on a roll for ranked. 200 was up. Why? I didn't look. Damn it. You know.
Because
Well-
why would you?
Yeah, no, they took out every mobile suit that doesn't cost 350 from the game with the addition of rank 2. You can only play 350 suits. It's
By
pretty
the
rough.
way, Corez gets credit for this. I did not know that you could press square when you've got cost order. When you order all your suits and you're picking, if you hold down
to
square
organize them.
and go to the right, you can actually
By
select the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you can just pull up all your 350s, just like that.
Yeah, he
So-
told me in my chat one day too. Good old Corey.
Sorting tool OP.
So that was pretty legit. But anyway, do we want to talk about the banner suit real quick and then hop into ranked?
Okie dokie.
Sure.
So anybody got it besides me?
I have it.
I got it.
I have it.
I
And-
did it.
That downswing is quite interesting.
Oh,
It's pretty
Emblem
fun.
sad.
Oh
Um,
no.
Which the funny thing is you should watch. I need to clip that. I wonder if somebody actually clipped that because somebody in chat was saying clip it because of my reaction to it. It was. I accidentally just was like, oh my gosh, and hit the button at the same time, and it just like passes by and goes to loading screen when I got it out of the crate at the end of the game. So it just kind of looks like, oh yeah, I got that, no big deal. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
on.
do whenever I get banner units. Like I'm literally like, oh cool, we deserve that. Moving right along.
Yeah. You should have just fucking guaranteed that from the start, you fuck. Just
Yeah, like whenever a new banner suit comes out, like unless I like really want it, I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, we got the banner unit. All right, cool. Let's see what else we're pulling from the pools now.
what other garbage are you gonna give me?
Like, well, see,
Yeah.
that's the thing though. I mean, okay, so I am a fan of it because it has a big sword. I'm always a fan of that. So, cool, awesome. Am I probably gonna play it? Maybe 1 or 2 times here and there.
Yeah.
But it's a raid, so
It's already
Oops.
waned a little bit in the space matches, and that's kind of a.
I took it into a space match in the interior space fortress. Oh my god. It was bad. It was so bad because I accidentally did my downswing, which is just this whole like down like up and swinging around, and I hit like 3 of my allies and made 1 enemy, and they're all going everywhere, and I'm like,
Just-
shit. And then like everybody in the and then everybody in like the simple chat's like, sorry, and I'm like, no, you're not, that's not your fault, that was mine. I started
I'm surprised they
swinging."
didn't actually get facetious and be like, thanks. You're the best.
that's funny. I did like a little
People on your
tryout
team
match.
then.
Oh, I think you cut out there.
I was just saying he had very polite people. I got a
Yeah.
thanks, and you're the best in that case.
The funny thing is the first time you said it, the second half cut out. The second time you said it, the first half, or yeah, either way, we got the whole thing out of the 2
Yeah.
other 2 times. But yeah, I did a little kind of practice game with it. I think it was me, Rogers, Corraz, and Dragoon, or yeah, I think it's Dragoon. We all hopped in and played a little game, and me and Corraz just had a 1v1, just meleeing only, and it was obnoxious. The sword blocks shots and melees,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have a damage total, so it's an infinite shield? Question mark.
More kind of, but only from the side from where you would hope you wouldn't get hit by it anyway. I don't know if, like, say you get hit by like a rocket or whatever, does it actually absorb it, or would the splash off of that actually nail you anyway? That's the bigger thing.
I
And
think
if they're hitting you that close anyway, wouldn't they just be more likely to nail you from the side regardless?
Well, I mean,
Now,
like,
the other thing would be like if it's the actual strip that goes down the
Hmm.
back, if that catches something, then that's gonna be tough.
Well,
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about how it's placed on the back of the suit because it looks like a huge tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they were trying to go, oh yeah, this thing's going to be like sticking out like a sore thumb. Like we should probably think about how it's going to be a part of the suit. If I'm not mistaken, like that can be hit, but it won't deal damage to you.
right. Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. If it gets hit, it'll actually absorb damage. So, like,
Right.
Corraz meleeed me with like a downswing, and I blocked one of the downswings,
That's hype.
and that should have killed me. And I'm just like, okay, this thing doesn't have a health bar. It's like an infinite shield.
Yeah.
And now my question is can somebody shoot it and stagger? We didn't test that. Now, if somebody can shoot
mean,
it and
yeah.
stagger,
No.
then
Because there was Undorius was testing it, someone that does stuff from Japan. Because they were shooting it with the machine gun and realized, oh man, this actually gets hit by stuff. And they tested it with the rocket and they shot it and it just absorbed it like a shield. There was no stagger off.
wow.
Yeah, I would say it's like the bishop or the Psycho Zaku's, or the Psychemu Zaku's hands
Mhm.
in regards to damage taking. Also, did anyone were we able to confirm if the like knockdown thing, if you hit the hands, is still in? I haven't played Space in a little while, and I'm hoping that it's not a thing anymore because I think that wasn't
Knockdown if
working
you
as
hit the
intended.
hands?
I
If you
haven't
hit
tried it.
if you hit the extended hands of like a down melee or something, it would knock the
it'll
bishop and the
translate to your
Psychemu
zero.
Zaku
Oh,
down.
God.
Yeah,
I haven't had that happen to me when running Psychemuse. I'll try to keep a bigger eye out for like if they actually swing at them. But yeah, I haven't had that happen.
It'd be
So
cool
they
if
might have
like
actually
I
changed
haven't
it by
had
the
it
time I
either.
started to run it.
it'd be cool if like you shot it, then they wouldn't shoot. Like if you shot one hand, that hand won't shoot at you, kind of thing.
That would
kind
be
of
something else.
Interesting.
Like it
Yeah,
has
I'd be okay if theirs
staggered
also gets
individually
staggered and
for that
knockdown.
piece. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the stagger knockdown, the knockdown thing really surprises me. That's kind of I remember you talking about that before.
Well, it's just weird because like they made changes to the game after the fact. Like after that, like it had to have been a known bug, and like they made changes and that wasn't included. So like I haven't seen any. I don't remember seeing any patch notes saying it got fixed, but I haven't really like seen like firsthand if it's changed or not. But like I always say, like I hope that can't be how it's working as intended.
No.
It just doesn't make sense for the arm to get like staggered or swung and you get staggered. It's not like the shock travels through your Psychemy wires or
Yeah, and
whatever,
just whips
like
you
bashes
around
your
like
mobile
ah.
suit. Yeah.
Like if you want, just catch me sometime. I'll hop in a game. We can just test it in a custom real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But
For sure.
We could just like bum rush you with a bunch of like Psychemy hands and take a swing at
I
them.
just take a swing,
happens.
see what happens to people. Yeah. But yeah, as far as the banner suit goes, it's got the grenade launcher. You got a Sturmfaust. You got the chest beam gun for a stun. It's got so many stuns.
Mad stuns.
Like
So good.
what in the world, dude? Like you've got
Feels dumb, man.
feels
I
pretty
mean, it
ripped
is
for
the
me because I
RD2.
missed everything
Oh no.
in that game. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this guy. Missed the beam. Gonna get this guy.
Whiff.
Missed the Sturmfaust. Missed the grenade.
Whiff.
Okay, fine. Pew 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 pew. I got him. You know, I stagger with the machine gun, of course, somehow. But
That was me in one of my ranked matches today with like the F2. That shit felt so bad. Nailing him with the anti-air. The minute I switched to anything else, is like with the grenade, with the Sturmfaust. Well, I might as well switch back because I actually reloaded.
I love the anti-air gun. I'm just saying, it's just like, hey. That's my
Stop
friend's reaction
right
to it.
now.
But
I appreciate the changes that they made to that. That's been pretty nice to run.
Oh yeah,
Just as like a more unique thing. Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I think it'll be pretty strong. Space is heavily melee oriented, so I think it'll be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the so I guess that's about it for the banner suit though. I mean, it's pretty cool. He's got a giant sword, so I'm a fan. Another raid that's probably gonna kill me, but
I definitely want to get more time in with it too. Like once everything with the ranks done, I'm just gonna start burning through all these new suits that I got. And that's definitely one that's gonna be on the list to like try to get some more matches in with like Tryhard Tuesdays when they switch them back to space and all that. Hopefully they have some costs where it's appropriate.
yeah. You guys want to go ahead and talk about some support salt first, or do you want to just go ahead and hop into ranked and do this huge ranked thing?
Well,
both could go on pretty long. I mean, whatever works.
Okay. Well, I just mentioned the raid thing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want me a support and not a stealth suit support like the rabbit. Although I still want that suit. It's pretty legit.
Yeah, I still want that.
The
shit,
rabbit,
so that looks really
the
high.
rabbit is beautiful. I love that thing.
Beautiful.
I got in a fight with one with just the normal Zaku cannon, and I did win, but he did miss some of his shots. So I'm at least happy in that regard. But his shield was actually, I had a shield a couple of times, and it's just like, okay, this feels like a more defensive option that has a few more stagger options, which is cool. But I seemed to, from what I could tell, fighting one, every time I ran into him, I was outputting more damage. And that's what I was hoping, that's what I was guessing it would be. And I'm glad that that's kind of the case. As far as, I mean, that's just one practice run, essentially going against a guy on some random rated match. But
right. What were you squaring off with them against? Like, what were you in?
Zaku cannon. That's what I'm saying.
Like
that comparison.
Okay.
Regular versus the new.
I think it was probably because they have to spread out the damage between all the weapons, if you honestly think about it. Because the rabbit type has, the cannon, the MMP-80, or the Zaku machine gun. And then it also has the, what was it called? Missile pod things. I can't even remember its actual name.
Yeah.
And then also what else did it have? And then it just has its shield on its hand.
Yeah.
But I think the missile pods really do help a hell of a lot with that thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It really gives, like, if a raid's coming at you, you've got a lot more skirmish ability than
yes.
a Zaku cannon.
Oh yes.
Like a Zaku cannon, you just put out as much DPS on that thing as you can, and then you try to tackle it and maybe charge melee attack and pray that somebody's going to turn and help you if you haven't killed the thing yet. So that's
yeah, that's right. They're called big guns. That's right.
Big.
Yeah.
I was kind of. I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot that because I was like making fun of the name too.
Whoa.
Big gun.
Big.
Let me just grab out my big gun.
Isn't it actually what the guns for the sniper emplacements, like in Thunderbolt, didn't they just call them big guns?
I'm not sure.
Possibly. Also, that would be interesting if they brought those in. Like,
Because they're not quite Skirays. They're just like almost like
just...
launcher level fuck off like beam guns.
Yeah, they're just well, and then if I'm not mistaken, they were powered by like a battleship reactor or something like that.
Yeah, like they're essentially Musai just beam rifles that they just made and retrofitted, I would almost think.
Yeah.
A big ass thing on top. It's probably where the reactor is, and it's just plant it on a piece of rock and let's go.
Just make sure that your amputated pilots don't fuck up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that whole sequence, once they actually got confronted by EO in the Thunderbolt, is support life in a nutshell. When they break the line and you just have this guy tearing ass throughout your entire field, like, well,
that's my life,
I guess I'll die.
I guess I'll die.
I'm honestly
yeet it into a missile pod. Oh god.
I honestly wonder if like the game developers were like, watch that scene and they're like, yep,
that's how this
the raid.
There we go. That's it. Yeah.
It had to be.
But yeah, as far as the support goes, where's my 550 support? And I'm not talking about the Zama level 2.
I would say, I guess the question I would have to ask is, would you want it to just be a leveled up like Madrock, or would you want it to be something fresh? And if so, like, what would it be?
See, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry for cutting you off. If I'm not mistaken, don't we still have suits from like 0083 that we still haven't put in yet? That would kind of be considered as a
I feel
550?
like someone did a lineup of all the suits that were included in like an art piece. God, I gotta find it. But like from what I saw and what I remember being debuted in that show, I think we hit everything. The only other stuff that we don't have would be like the mobile armors, at least from my recollection.
I mean, but there's plenty of side material that they could pull from.
I was thinking like if they really, really wanted to, even though I honestly think they won't, if they actually decide to use the MSV of the Gebera Gundam and use it as a support type, because it's supposed to use the GPO1's long-range beam rifle as its default weapon.
That'd be kind of cool. And I mean, we do have MSV suits. That's something that they have as one of the title cards for where it's sourced from. So it's possible. It would be nice because we're starting to run into that point where it's either we're going to do MSV stuff, like they're really going to have to start digging deep, or we're going to do advanced Zeta stuff, or we're just going to go straight into Zeta.
Well,
we're starting that timeline, especially when we're talking about high cost supports and the pool of suits that we have to actually like pull from that if we want something new that can kind of keep up with that speed and pace.
But we also have to remember that the fact that we still don't have everything from the first Battle Up game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, honestly.
Was that something that they definitely were trying to do?
I don't think they said they were.
Mission?
I don't know.
But the reason I think it's less likely to happen is, like, you know, obviously it's a good pool to select from, like pre-rendered models, and it's easy or whatever because it's less work to do to make it into the game or whatever. Right. But like from my understanding, a lot of the suits in the last game, and I know it's not going to be the case for everyone, but since the game was Federation versus Xeon, there were probably a lot of there were probably a lot of duplicate suits, just like how Smash has Shadow Fighters. They probably just had like Shadow suits so that Xeon could have a similar suit to a Federation suit, and that's why there were so many like suits from the first game that we haven't seen yet. That's not necessary because that team mechanic isn't in the game anymore. So there's less need for them to go revisit all those old suits.
Right.
I feel like that's what
I think they
should. And the Zaku cannon situation is really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, honestly, the main reason, like, besides those being like tailored suits, so the main reason those are in is probably just because of the early release. But they don't need to like bring in those weaker suits. I'd be pissed, honestly, if they had like some random like not very high performing GBO1 suit. Like I don't know. This could be a bit of an extreme case. That wasn't a shadow unit, but it is, and like let's just say I don't know. It's like the GM 1.5. Just to give you an example, like it was in Battle Op 1, and literally it's not very impressive. Like and it's a banner unit, but it's new because they brought it back from GBO1. Like make that bitch a shadow suit and give me another overpowered Gundam. Or something like that. Like I don't know. That might be a little bit.
A lot of those equivocal suits will definitely be good fodder for hidden suits.
Right.
If they do actually go with them.
Yeah, if they do it as a shadow, that's definitely great. And again, we kind of need a little more, I think, lower cost suits like that though.
Yeah, I would appreciate it, especially with the eve of us having this different gameplay mechanic with the camera gun on the Recon Zaku, and the fact that starts at 200 and only goes up to level 3. So it's like we need other shit for people that actually want to play those costs to do while they're also trying this, and that would be something nice to throw in into the mix.
Well, and then that's another thing too. Newer players, and I kind of don't like saying this exactly, but newer players should be playing more lower cost games because you can buy all the parts and stuff with DP like that almost within a couple of days playing. Just I mean, if you're putting
and they're just easier to upgrade in a hangar once that's available.
Exactly.
Too.
So then you can upgrade them easily. You can get all the parts you need. You can get the custom parts you need that'll fit on. And there's not this huge grind you got to do to have an effective 200 cost suit. And yeah, that's why I've been kind of like, where's my 200 game for that Recon right now? Because I think newer players need to have that lower cost option up a lot more often.
Oh, and Aoshi's in my
disagree.
chat.
Go ahead.
Aoshi says that Aoshi said that we still need the Zoc in the game.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
If, we were like talking about that some, but like
that'd be amazing.
You know, I was saying like I wouldn't react to a suit if they released a Zoc, I'll start crying. Okay,
Zoc
I'm so ready. Yeah, like Zoc with the GOG as a support, like shadow suit.
Yeah,
that's the 200 we need, baby.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well,
but
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna follow up on my disagree thing. I think it's good for them to be able to play in all cost for lower cost players. But I mean, like, imagine. Let's think about this, right? Have you guys seen the U.S. trailer or the Western release or global release trailer for Battle Operation?
It's an interesting mix of suits that they had in there, and some of that. I don't know if it was super reflective of the list that we had for that whole boarding thing either, and that was the interesting thing that a lot of people were kind of on the fence about.
Well, here.
Out of the gate.
Before we get off too far from that, I brought that up because, like, we might need to watch it. But how many GMs and Zaku 2s were in that trailer?
Oh my god.
There were a lot, and then it showed the Alex and Camphor though in the trailer,
right? And Hidolfer, but yeah.
The main reason I'm bringing that up, like I'd have to rewatch it, but like I feel like the main push on that trailer was high-end mobile suits, and like if the game like and like this could be a fault on the game itself too, but like I think they want players to be playing at all cost, because I'm gonna let you know, if I was like, you know, generic Western fanboy like Gundam, where's my wing zero? You know, or
oh yeah,
whatever.
I've had people like that in my chat though.
But like if I step into that game and like I'm shoehorned into playing with like slope, like I know that's a part of the game. Like the reason I like battle operations is because it mimics the low performance-ness of some of the suits and just like the actual like combat. But
Yeah.
like I think from like a player interest standpoint, like them kind of like forcing players to like kind of what you guys are saying, where it's just like they should newer players should focus purely on lower cost matches. Like I think to some degree, but like I think they should have it spread out. Like I think they should change some of the if it's not already, because I have no idea what the requirements are for the stuff in the DP shop to buy, because I had all that stuff. I was able to buy all that stuff as soon as they released it.
Right.
So I'm not really sure how hard that is.
We have to retroactively look at like that tier and how everything's been scaling as they've been adding it, because you're right, that is a big deal, especially when we talk about a lot of them are going to be getting like a good taste of that with the top 10 voted suits that we're getting right out of the gate.
I mean,
too.
we might be bitter just because of like Stardust Memory taking over the unlimited cost and stuff like that. But I mean, for new players, like none of that stuff matters. Have you ever have you been in a low cost game? Like there's no meta in there. Like people like stagger with a shotgun and then back off. You know?
Like, oh whoopsie,
just, like, stuff like that. Like just the plebes need to have fun. And I'm not saying everybody's not gonna have fun in a GM, but they should like I think shoehorning them into like and I don't think we necessarily said that, but I think having it more broad at the beginning makes way more sense than like having them play more lower cost suits.
And by design, they're definitely doing that with 10 suits, and that's a bigger thing for us to lean on. But I hope that they do follow up and have more things available for them to buy on that higher end.
Which my point really, the biggest complaint and the reason why I say that is well, as far as ranking up, right? You can't buy the level 4 firing program till you're Master Sergeant 8. That's a pretty good chunk of time. Now, with everybody popping medals and stuff, it definitely gets sped up. But I mean, like, for most people that's not playing, 5 and 6 hours a day, that's a long amount of time before they can even get that. You have to be Sergeant 8 just to get to level 3. You have to be, what's before that, Corporal?
Corporal.
I think what we're talking about is more in terms of like the suit availability, though.
Right, because what you're talking about is a little bit different.
You gotta okay, well then sorry.
Like these guys, when we're talking about when the new guys and like they're not even worried about the meta until they start getting flattened by people that do have those parts and have to realize, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
Yeah, well, and that's the
so
thing.
I
feel like that, and again, it's a free to play game. It's going to have that kind of model, but the biggest issue and the reason why I say focus on lower cost is because they're probably going to have most people are probably going to have a better experience playing in lower cost than they are in. I got the Gyeogu Cannon as my first suit. That was the first box I got. And I was like, oh yeah, this thing is awesome when I would hit something, So I was like, okay, I'm bad. Fair enough. Then I started getting better. I'm like, oh, you can combo it together like this. Then I'm like, cool, let's go into this 450 rated match. Oh, I just got completely wrecked. Wait, I just hit that Gyeogu Cannon. We just shot at each other. And he killed me in one shot. What? Like, I still had one more shot to kill him, but he killed me in one less shot. What's going on? Because we were just beaming each other back and forth. And I was just like, oh my gosh, look at how many slots I don't have. I've got the firing program level 1, and that's about it. And that was like that was my experience. And that's why I've kind of had this mentality about it. It's like, the parts do make a huge difference, especially at that cost, because you can fit on the level 4, 3, 2, and 1, and it's like what 29% damage or something. I can't remember all the modifiers.
About that.
And I mean, when you think about it that way too, like especially veteran players who have been playing, for that year, I'm going to prioritize getting those parts for those higher end suits that we're getting out of that initial drop of 10. We're going to make some of the new players fucking miserable with that shit in the first place, let alone any sort of like part differences that we're going to have.
Yeah.
Us grinding for longer than they do just to be able to get back to a comfortable like parts list like what we have right now.
Well, and then look at the you were talking about suits though. Look at these high-end suits. They just came out with the Alex and the Comfer. Don't you have to be Ensign 1?
Yeah, you have to be Ensign. You
Yeah,
have to be
like
ensign to get the XAML too.
yeah, I just finally got to Ensign 20, but the thing is I didn't get to Ensign till the anniversary event when everybody was popping the gold
and that
emblem.
was Emblem's point to begin with, is that just either lower that bar or make more things available per
Yeah.
tier, so that you're actually able to get into some of that stuff later on. Because I don't know how long the window is for that initial voted 10 is going to be once that drops, but there are going to be other English playing players who might not have those and do have to go in raw.
Yeah.
If we don't have like another anniversary or another appreciation, suit drop in the meantime.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's something we have to think about for the future now, because technically we're going to be starting fresh. And unless they
Yeah.
Gundam versus us again, then we're going to be in this for a little bit all over again. Unless you guys just like ditch from the game after that.
Well,
I've got a voice in chat telling me it's Master Sergeant for
The
at
Alex.
least for Alex and Camphor.
Oh,
But
it is?
I
Okay.
also I have no idea. I'd have to check.
I know the
I
XAML
can
is
check real quick.
ensign. I know for a fact the XAML was ensign.
Mhm.
So
But yeah, I mean, either way though, still Master Sergeant is for most
that's still
people.
quite a long
That was
way.
like what? Like I think I got Master Sergeant like maybe 2 months in, and I played a lot. Like I was pulling like 12 hours on the game before I even knew I could stream it.
Woo! Wow.
Guys, I will say this. Nate kind of brought up something in chat about the parts being in the banner pools in the past. But like
Mhm.
one kind of thing that some like I think, I don't know, parts are a bit weird. I honestly think like it's having them a little bit higher almost like is a scaling progression kind of thing. And like the longer you play and the more invested you get into the game, the more you get further customization and enhancement options. I don't really, I wish I could say like what would be like the best middle ground, but some of that wall is offset by the fact that you can find those parts in post game crates.
Right.
is true.
You get those drops.
Right.
Granted, the drop rate's like 1%, but
Every once in a while you get some shit.
yeah.
And yeah, they're instant, or I mean, sorry, they're Master Sergeant 1.
Okay.
So which I mean, again though, is still like probably for most people is like 3 months out. Like,
Can you tell me
or
what the
more,
logo looks
3
like?
to 6.
Master Sergeant is the 3 big diamonds, I believe.
3 diamonds, yeah.
Okay.
Without the stripe and all that, yeah.
And then Instant's the 1 diamond with the stripe across.
Yep. And then whatever the next one is 2 big diamonds with a stripe.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember what that one's called.
Lieutenant. That's the one
Lieutenant.
I'm in promotion for right now. But I mean,
Lieutenant.
that takes like, again, I've been playing for what I'm guessing it was been since January, and I'm just getting there, and it was because of the anniversary event and all the like gold medals everybody was popping, because everybody had a gold medal from that. Like that was easy mode. Like getting all those
nice.
yeah, getting all those tokens and stuff, that was easy to have a gold medal. So like yeah, I mean they have put that stuff in, so a newer player now will get a lot of that acceleration, especially playing later in the month. But yeah, it definitely is a grind. It is a pretty big grind, and you can feel it at higher cost. But 200, 250, it's not too bad. That's why I say play lower cost games. That's my whole reasoning behind it, because you can feel the part difference and you can feel some of the suit difference. But yeah, it does get. I mean, they are pretty generous. I will say, I am surprised by how generous that they are at giving out just a bunch of DP and tokens here and there. So it's pretty good. Not the worst system I've seen.
Yeah. I find like a lot of Japanese games, even like on the mobile, are generous with that. They actually give you like compensation stuff for when they fuck up pretty commonly.
Yeah.
Not to mention all these appreciation events and all that. Like I would never expect that from most US games. And if it is, it would be like something cosmetic, purely cosmetic, not a new unit, not a new part or anything like that. Like that's pretty wild.
Like
for any outside like loot box stuff, are there any US games that kind of perform like have a banner system kind of like a gacha style game? Because I don't play enough, so I wouldn't know. But like, because loot crates feel fundamentally different than like something like this, where like you literally like can't play certain stuff. Because I mean, you can always play Tracer or whatever, but most of the stuff is cosmetic. Maybe Battlefront would be a close
Yeah, that would
example,
be
where
the-
some items
Yeah.
like kind of locked behind
Possibly,
crates.
yeah.
Battlefront, because you get it per update, but they don't emphasize via like, banner in the same way. I don't know if they have heightened drops for those when they actually are implemented.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, I don't even know. I can't think of a precedent in Western type games like that. But yeah, I always equate Battle Op to a like in almost the same vein as a cell phone style game, just
Yeah,
because it's pretty much the same thing.
Raleigh for
Yeah.
it being a gotcha in the first place. So yeah,
Actually,
that's a big one.
that's what somebody in chat said. They were like, "This looks kind of like a cell phone type game, a mobile game, because of the
Well-
that."
I find that, and maybe it's just a select few games, but I find that a lot of Japanese games that are free like really care about the players, but from a lot of like I guess Western style free games, like they just don't give a damn. That's what it feels like to me anyway.
I mean, it
You ever played
depends. It depends.
FGO, bro? I don't know. I know nothing about FGO. I just heard the drop rate on the rares are super low. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. Like it's gotten better, but Japanese free to play games used to be super predatory. Have you ever heard stories about Grand Blue Fantasy? Like they like people were like they were like hiding rates and like it was really bad. Like I'm talking like low chances. People were like dropping like life, like you remember when people were like playing their life savings to play Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
People were going like hardcore waifu hunting on like those games, and it used to be really bad. Like there's a reason why there's regulations on stuff like that in Japan now, because they was super predatory and they were taking advantage of their viewer base or their player base to some degree. So like maybe it seems that way now because there are laws in place, but beforehand, like I think I don't think they cared about the player at all. They just wanted to get it as much money as they could, and that might be extreme. But you get what I'm saying. Like they were being a company, and like somebody had to, like the government literally had to step in, to my knowledge, and tell them like you guys are taking advantage of these people. You need to stop that. Like tell them what they're getting into.
And in
at the
some
very
cases,
least.
it was just like Europe, and then it trickled down from there. Like, hey, if we're gonna bust these guys, you're gonna look like a couple of jackasses if you don't do it too. So you might as well follow up.
Yeah.
You know, just
Well, I think
very
it's like that's
aggressive
only been
terms
happening
of
recently
like
though,
example.
because like that stuff's just like DLC and stuff has kind of been a thing, but there hasn't been like a straight up lotto type system for a lot of games until like outside of the Japanese like
Gotcha.
phone games and stuff. Like
Right.
those have come over this side via cell phone, but it's never like been I feel like it hasn't been in the spotlight until you've had like I don't really keep up. It could be, and it's just like some news I haven't heard about, but like the only time I can really think of a situation like what you're talking about is touching back on like Battlefront or whatever was when that was happening. That's like the first time I've ever heard about the EU legislation rather on like, you know, on like electronic or whatever they called it, casinos or whatever they were labeling the game as. That's the first time I ever heard anything about that. And it was more so just because they noticed that their kids were being exploited. Or you know the players are being exploited more so than like, oh well, Japan is doing that for their gacha games, we better do it too. Like I think it was more of that.
Yeah, there was a bit of news as far as just like people, the life saving stuff, and people spending way too much money on games for a lot of DLC, but that was about it. But yeah, it really kind of just that was the tipping point at Battlefront. Yeah,
Yeah, because it was just a casino catered for children, essentially,
that's
or you know, teens or whatever.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah,
anyway.
as far as I will say though, as far as battle operation though, they really, I have to say, it looks like they actually care about making some changes and making a pretty good game, because I mean, like I said before, they change maps, they change things around, they're trying to get things good, and they actually put full descriptions in these notes, like here's why we changed the Ifrit DS, and here's why we changed the Akzaku, and here's why we're buffing this, and they've actually got a paragraph for each of those. So I will say their notes that they put in is actually a little more detailed than a lot of people. So I definitely, this is one game that I probably will end up supporting once I have the ability to.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have some games as far as just the predatory thing and stuff. Yeah, like you said, if they're being a company, they're going to be a company, and that's the thing. But then you've got people like for Warframe or Path of Exile and stuff are the two that I always use as an example. Like
Oh yeah,
Warframe,
PoE
they
is pretty
actually
good.
like Warframe, they actually cut somebody off. Like somebody was spending too much money, and they were like, "Nope, can't spend anymore." And then like I don't know if they did a refund or something, but they did some other thing working out with that person because they came out with something that was, I don't know if it was pay to win, but it was a thing that people would definitely want to buy. And
How's
they
that
were
work
like,
in Warframe? Is it purely cosmetic, or do you actually get in-game, affecting stuff from that though?
you can get, what is it? I think you can get unlocks, kind of like you can just buy the frame outright, I believe, or you can just go
Mhm.
farm it. So, but I don't think you get anything that's really pay to win in the sense of like being
Right.
overpowered. So,
Because I've seen CS:GO. Like I know people are willing to pay a premium for silly skins and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
But but anyway, like I know
yeah,
there are models that exist that aren't super predatory. I was more just saying like before we're just like, oh well, the Japanese are pretty good about it. Like
oh yeah,
there are
yeah.
definitely groups that are there to be predators. And honestly, like at their core, some of the like games like this are predatory in nature. You just have to make sure you can control yourself, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's
Um,
the that's the downside
Yeah,
about these
and
games.
seeing Japanese content creators having to throw down so many 10 spins to get certain things to keep up with those updates and putting out their videos.
That's pretty
You
rough.
still have to you still have to invest a fair amount unless you just get really, and that's always just going to be a factor. Like even if they are generous with the free suits and stuff that they give us for compensation, like still gonna have to do stuff like that if you really
Yeah.
do want to keep up with those banners.
That's like the heavy Gundam. I was saving up tokens and I was like, ooh, I got a decent bit, and I had enough to like 3 spin for the heavy, and I didn't get it at all, and I'm just like, oh man. And then a friend of mine actually quit playing the game there for a little while just because he threw like 3 10 spins in at one suit, and then he just didn't get it, so he was just like, okay, I'm done for a while. I mean, it really feels bad when you don't get that, and yeah, I don't know. I've never
I've
really
definitely
liked
seen
that
that.
model, but they are decently generous with this one though, at least. So I'll take it for now. And they have the ticket shop, and so eventually you get some stuff. But um, yeah, that might be a topic for another one. Is talking about the actual enhancement thing in the hangar. What you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as far as we kind of got a little bit off from the no support.
Support thing, yeah. Well, I mean, the question that's hard to answer is like, where do we pull those suits from? Or do we just start
Yeah.
leveling up some of the other high end stuff that we have?
I mean, I'll take some high end levels of some things. I'm fine with that too. There's a couple of good suits that you could definitely run. Like the Mudrock would be kind of cool to get a higher level. Or
Hmm.
I mean, really the only two options, unless I just don't have it or don't know about it, is what the gun cannon level 4 and that's 500. And is there any
Yeah.
other 500 supports?
Like, well, I
Zamel.
mean, Zamel, but
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, the Zamel and yeah, but I mean, as far as 500 and 550, you have the Zamel and you have, I think, just the gun cannon, right? Everything
well,
else?
gun cannon
Well, on the
isn't even
Mudrock.
550.
Mudrock level 2 is 500.
Oh, okay, it's
500.
500. Okay, so that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
so we're not hitting 550 yet. They're all in the
But we just, yeah.
500.
I mean, at least if we had the Mudrock at 550, I would take that. I would definitely use that. It's a really good suit.
I would expect that for when we like 100. I feel like they're gonna keep staggering it like that unless we really do have a shiny example of like a new suit to put at that level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
But it
really
is-
something to keep
new
in mind
suit,
going
though.
forward.
Like I think it needs to be a new suit.
Yeah.
With the way the general skill progression works in the game right now, even if you moved a current suit into 550, it would still face the exact same problems that it probably, like, assuming there are problems like Stardust memory as a cost is a little bit extreme, just because GPO 1 and 2 and 3 push the like shifted the meta. It's like, have you guys ever played like a cell phone type of game and they released those like new broken suits that like change the way the game is played? Like there used to be a certain way that everybody played, and
Yeah,
then
that's true.
and then like a new suit comes out, or a new thing comes out, and it like literally just like changes everything.
They're a lot more
GPO
dynamic and aggressive, and they don't really have to worry about a whole lot of their suits, even at those costs have to.
Yeah,
Just
and I
because
think
of the way
it's
that they run.
like that to Stardust Memory suits. Like the core, obviously the core gameplay is the same, but like I think since those suits have come out, that unlimited cost has been sped up, and you know,
for sure.
Oh yeah,
I
it
think
has.
if you wanted to ask me about suits personally, that would probably be like reasonable at that cost. Probably the tanks, more so to Hildolfer. I mean, this is I don't know what the nerfs are. I can only talk about their current levels, but I think the Hildolfer to an extent would be okay. The Mudrock is probably fine. Zamel's whatever. Like maybe the full armor Gundam. I think like obviously player ability kind of factors in, but I'm not that's like an outlier, and I'm not really gonna include that in it. I'm just gonna go off of what I think how the skills perform or the suits perform, and I just think in a general sense, like I think it should make a new support at 550 level 1 that is made with the new meta in mind, and I think that's what support needs at that cost. If we're just talking about the higher cost, at the lower tiers, I think it's still at a point where it's okay. Like maybe it's pushing it in 350, for like 400 and 450 to like 400 or 400 to 500 might be questionable. I still think I think the supports are mobile enough where it's not really necessary for them to get anything crazy like a dodge roll. But like I legitimately I know there are a lot of people that say like that supports are never going to get a dodge roll, but I think of how fast the game is at 550. Like I honestly don't see how it would make the game broken or anything like that. Like I don't think it would put supports in a strong spot. If anything, it would let them last a little bit longer.
Yeah, they need something there for sure.
Especially since we had 3 more increments to go, just from what they've shown us in that sorter. So it's like, how much more is the meta going to shift? What are some of the newer suits going to imply? And what suits can we actually see being support from those rosters further down the timeline? Unless we really are going to start pulling super deep from MSV for them and make them comparable to like some of the other titular suits.
But yeah, as far as the perspective though, from my perspective as a support player, it's 450 feels really solid. Like I love the full armor, I love the Mudrock. Those are great suits. 400 still pretty solid. I mean, you'll see me using a lot of the Zaku cannon, so probably.
The fact that you can get away with that says a lot about 400, and the fact that you're pretty flexible when it comes to what you can run.
Yeah, I like the Zaku cannon. I'm a huge fan of it. But at the same time, though, you've got Dom Barrage. They just buffed that. It feels pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a decent selection at 400. Maybe 400 might need something else, but I mean, it's pretty solid. 350, I feel has like 3 suits. Maybe the Dom Cannon might be a contestant for that. Maybe that's 4. I guess you do have the gun tank, the 5. That's a pretty good solid amount.
2 different kinds of gun tanks. You have
I mean, I guess you got the
cannon.
GM sniper. So yeah, 350 is really solid for variety actually. Never mind, I take that back.
350 is a really good biome in general.
300 I think
diversity of suits that you have, and I think that's why they have it in ranked right now.
Yeah.
Just because you have every kind of gameplay convention in there, like with the different systems and stuff like that as well.
I think the
I will add that
is rough.
I was talking about ground. Space is like a whole other ballpark. I don't know. I don't play enough, but I still think space.
Because then you got the FB in there
for supports.
Like, oh my God.
But maybe I could just be bad.
I mean, I think I'm also a bit bad at it, but it is kind of, especially when I decided to try an unrestricted. I was like, I'm going to play support. I'm going to play the gun cannon in space. No big deal. And then it was just like, oh man, I'm so slow. Oh no. Help, please.
I've gotten away with some shit in the
Just stand still.
in the barrage, like when they started doing the changes and stuff. But even then, like when you get caught, and it's really hard to get your back. And that's even with something that's supposed to supposedly be a little bit more maneuverable and scooty, even in space, just because of its extra thruster. It's like, nah, you're still gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, they need something, especially at 550. Definitely, we need something new that's going to compete with that mobility. But 300, I think 300 actually is in a weird spot right now for supports. I guess you have an okay variety, but I don't know. It's just something about it. I just default back to my Zaku cannon, and that's about it. I haven't really found too many things that I go to. I mean, I guess there's a mass production, but at that point, I'm going to use the Zaku cannon over the mass production, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They all still died on my DS. Seems good.
Pretty much. Oof. I will say though, at 300 in my Zaku cannon, it feels great being able to shred through a DS now because the health is so low. I can actually almost kill one by the time they get to me if I spot them far enough away.
Which is a good because it just makes them think twice about continuing their advance.
Yeah.
Even
so
if you can't
I'm
kill
all
them.
for that DS nerf. Just saying. Which has brought out more prototypes. Which has been very scary because prototype just two shots you. They just downswing and then downswing, and you're just dead, or at like no health. But the and then 200 cost. I don't know. I'd like to see more. It's kind of gotten weird where they've added stuff like the Kamuf and a few things. So I don't know. We'll see what happens at 200, but 200
I don't know. I think supports are crazy strong in 200.
Oh yeah. They're really strong. I would like to just see more. Is kind of what I'm saying. Like,
screw that. Give me some raids first. You guys just got some love.
Being greedy for some raids. Get out of here.
No. I'm being no. Honestly, he's right. They need raids more than I need a support. But I'm biased.
Go grab a rabbit type and be happy, dude.
Hey man, I'm completely biased towards support, so of course I'm gonna be saying no, forget the raid. But I will completely admit that I am 500%. Let's go 1,000,000,000%. Is it 1 billion or 1 million? I don't know.
You
Dr.
could
Stone
do
reference.
From like Origin with that big ship axe that they had. Make that another raid.
That would be legit.
That'd be a good one for space. Just have another one for low cost, much like the one that we just got. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm actually. Oh, that's one. I don't think we actually pointed that out. The Kamuf got nerfed as well. Did we talk about that?
No, I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
Yeah. The Kamuf got nerfed because I remember looking at it and it's translated to Jim Kamov, and I was like, what the what? And it's GEM, so it's a different gem than the normal gem that they translated to. And I'm just like, what in the world is this? And it just finally hit me. Oh, it's the Kamuf.
Well, for that translation, that is actually correct because it's Gem instead of Jim. Because lore-wise, Xeon did not know how to pronounce Jim. So they called it Gem Kamuf.
That's actually. I mean, it's just an acronym. It's just GM.
Right, but that's literally how they called it in lore. Was the Gem Kamuf.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, like a nerf to it. What do you think they're going to do? Are they just going to lower the health a bit? Because I think with its health, it's got the same amount of health. Speaking of the recon, the same amount of health as the recon, and it's got that giant shield. Like that shield is obnoxious. I don't know if anybody else finds that. I don't know if you found that as meleeing as a raid, but that shield is just obnoxious to try to shoot because I feel like its hitbox is like at least half of the actual front part of the mobile suit. So like you have to hit like just its other like shoulder just to actually hit it with a cannon. Otherwise it gets blocked by that shield.
I mean, I've had shield blocks happen for me where it doesn't even hit where the shield is.
Yeah.
Like I'm clean on the left side or the right side, wherever it is, and just it counted. It didn't put it like it was there. It just hit on that shoulder and didn't do nothing. So there's a lot of weird spotty stuff that's going on with this shield.
I mean, it doesn't look, but as far as like when I'm shooting at one, it has more effect. Like
It sure seems like it.
I definitely feel it.
I personally haven't noticed it, but I'm not really sure. Like Shield Senpai giveth and Shield Senpai taketh, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if it was more consistent, I'd probably worry about it more. But
Yeah.
you just take what you get with those.
I feel like they're gonna nerf the health of it though a bit at very least. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into some rank to finish this off and kind of talk about it. So yeah, my big thing with ranked is kind of just the way I've been playing and just being greedy for points. I've actually shot somebody in the back that was my teammate to stagger him so that I could get the kill on the dude that he was about to melee.
It's true.
And
I've had a friend. Is that just how supports do things? They added that banning system for guys like you.
Yep.
well, actually, technically, if I'm aiming toward the enemy, that wouldn't count.
A
So-
technicality. You'll
so
get
that-
yours, Magnum.
Oh man, that's and see that's the thing though.
Numbered.
Like I was saying earlier.
I'm gonna start sending Twitch clips to the Twitter. Like, get this guy.
Oh
Get him.
gosh.
He's admitting it on.
Oh
He-
man.
He said he was doing it on purpose. Ban him.
If I get banned for that, I will applaud you,
Just
sir.
coming to his. Just
I
coming
would
to his
just be
chat,
like-
"Emblem!"
I'll be like,
one
Emblem,
rival on Twitch down.
you
You're
did it.
next, Gustav.
Oh,
You like the guy helmet dom in space, do you?
Oh man. Like, but seriously though, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I went from like, okay, cool, we're just winning the games, and then I'm like, no, I gotta get points, or I gotta deny the enemy points, and now I'm just like loss, and then the win is just like
Massive.
super win, and I get a ton of points, and I mean, obviously, this is why a lot of systems don't use point systems to determine what rank you are in their game.
Mm.
Because I know they mentioned that. I know at one point people were talking about that in, like, for instance, like League of Legends or something. It's like, no, if they did that, then that would completely affect how you play. Like, kind of like a fantasy league kind of style
Yeah.
thing where, oh, this person did this, so they get this many points. Well, that's kind of what this rank system is. Only you are playing for yourself in this case and getting your own points. And
Yeah, it's 1v11.
yeah, and you're really against your team, like you said earlier. It's really you versus your team. Your entire team's your rival, and
Yep.
you're just trying to win against them
Mhm.
over everything else. And I don't know, it really has led to some really toxic games in that sense because everybody's jumping in for those kills. But at the same time, I don't think people realize that kills is only one of the things that gets you score. There's deaths.
Yeah, but if you're getting
there's-
kills, I mean, you still push your like top because I mean, just going in for damage and trying to get kills. If you miss, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's a support score. If you shoot your teammate in the back in a melee or something, you probably get pursuit assist.
Yeah.
Like you're always getting damage. Like just pushing for like kills, like pushes up your other metrics to where like there's like almost no downside besides
that's
losing the
true.
game.
That's true. I didn't think about exactly how many things actually get affected. But yeah, never mind. I was thinking it would be about half, but no, it's more than half.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, that's the bigger thing too, is that like as long as you are in a match where it's just a straight up slugfest, you can still get those higher end scores
Oh,
without
yeah.
having to do too many other actions. It's the minute that someone breaks from that pattern, tries to get more caps or tries to get the bomb planted, that you have to shift back to either clamoring to do it yourself or making sure that you went out right in the first place.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the other thing. The top score is going to be getting a bomb plant. So you either need to find somebody and know that they're in your game and you're on the same team, and then you can communicate, hey, I've already got all my scores. I'm going to go for the bomb plant or something because, man, like that is a huge amount of points for not a lot of effort in these games because everybody's pushing for kills. And going to defuse the bomb, that's points. Going to place the bomb, you're losing points. Going to capture a point, you're losing points. So doing these things will win you the game, but it won't push your rank up in the ranked score at all. And that's one of the biggest issues. Like, the game really isn't about winning the game anymore. It's getting lucky enough to have more points than the enemy team, but you're all going in for this slugfest. Because also, going in for the slugfest, they get you diversion score.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's another one. So
if you do
Yeah.
well, suddenly that actually counts towards you instead of just highlighting that you got hit a lot.
yeah,
And kind of sucked, but now it actually counts towards your accolades. So
the only time diversion doesn't look bad on you is when you have all 3 other scores. As the
yep,
top.
all the rest of it.
Then you're just like, yeah, that's right.
I mean, diversion's not even that bad. Like, I think as the raid, you generally want to like raid or support generally wants to aim for top diversion. I feel like
Okay, yeah.
granted, if the support gets it, it's probably because their team wasn't backing them up. But that means that they were pushing on you or whatever. Maybe just raid, but like I feel like in most of my really good raid matches, I also have top diversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
And
pretty
you
much
should,
have to
because
push.
they're
and get
literally
because,
towards
you're
circling
in there.
around to look at you like, what the fuck was that? Or like, who's calling for support and what are they being attacked by? And well, guess what? It's you.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, it definitely promotes a ham play style, and when it pays off, I mean, you get that 1500 game. And the thing is, like, it's if you see another team and they're playing passive, you're not gonna get score that game. Like, I like right now, I don't know why, and it's just been weird every time I realize it. But I'm just like, great, they're playing passive on deserted city. They won't push forward. Okay, I'm already done.
Yeah, we're not gonna break 10K.
Let's get the next game going, guys. We're gonna have like an 8 to maybe 10K game. I'm done.
now that is definitely something very early on in games like League that people were noticing in terms of like trying to go up the ranks and stuff, just wanting to be able to get that game over with and moving on to the next. And that's definitely something that rank play in most games brings up for people.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Well, I
think
mean-
people have been purposely yeeting out of games to do that in this game, just because the downtime that you're doing between matches is fixed and not really that long.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean, though.
definitely something
I had a
to
game
keep
like
in
that
mind.
today.
Yeah,
Or, like,
I
King
actually
Man's
thought
Exodus.
about. Yeah, exactly. I thought about actually yeeting out of a game at one point. I was like, could do this because we're gonna.
I
get,
wouldn't take
like,
it
no
that
points.
far. I still don't like exit
no.
a game unless I
No,
see
you-
Like,
the
I've
yeah.
thought
option.
about it, but I've still stuck with it just because I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to see it.
Well, that was gonna be my point. I'm like, the thought crossed my mind, but it's just like, nah, I don't want to be that guy. Nobody wants to be that guy.
I was just more saying in my match, like I was the Afreed on desert, and literally it reached a point to where like even if we were gonna win, I wasn't gonna get any relevant score for it. So I was like, I lost all my investment in the match. I was like,
Exactly.
I at that point I'm just like trying to like not lose any rating rather. So which is kind of just whatever. I'm already like prepared to funnel as much of my ranking into our rating points into ranked points as possible.
Right.
On top of the charts. Like, see, we're taking this train straight to D rank, but we're gonna be like we're gonna get top 100 in the world, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for top 30 now. Now that I've heard it's just top 30 for the platinum, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hard because I've went from 113 to 172, and which case is still bronze. So I'm like, oh, I gotta step it up. I gotta step it up pretty hard here. Where's my staircase? But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just my playstyle has changed so much, and it's just that I want to win. And if you want to win, you're gonna tank your rating. Most likely. I mean, that's just gonna be how it's gonna go. Because it's one of those things. It's like, which I mean, I'm pretty good at this in most games. My friend's like, you're the best and the worst player I think I've met in League, kind of deal. Where I was diamond on Aatrox, but the thing is, you would either see me go like 23-0, and well, I was just a one trick though, so I mean that
Right.
that
And that's the
doesn't
bigger
really
thing,
count.
too.
But so I was like 23-0 in a game, or I was like -30 in a game, and my team was raging at me. And he's like,
what the fuck's
he's
wrong
like, you
with
either
you?
just 1v5 the enemy somehow. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. or you're at the bottom of every list. You're wood tier, man. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just how I do, and that's pretty much this kind of style of thing. Like, kind of what you saw. I think when you hopped in yesterday, Emblem on, and was just like, I was just missing shots. I was whiffing everything, which also too my lag was really messing with me there till I got that fixed. But hey, man, I was showing proof. I was like, and then my
Look at
like I would do
John.
this, and then my camera
yeah.
would go
Whoop.
like
The
a
sun
second or two
was in
later.
your eyes, and you hadn't had anything to eat yet. I got you, man.
Oh
I feel
man.
ya.
Oh yeah. But
I've had those games too, man.
but
My Wawa to salt ratio wasn't
but
quite
like
right.
but like you got to go hard, and you got to you'll like you'll have a game like this, and then you'll have a game like this if you're going for the points in the
Yeah.
right way, and that's pretty much how I found it. I maybe somebody knows something. One of the actual top like 10 people that keep being top 10 every day.
They're all in
Like,
cahoots, so don't worry about
Put
it.
it this way. There was a match that I saw that I was in. We were actually gonna win. The team was backing off. Number 2 went full Leroy, yeeted himself across impact, went into their base, started scrapping with like 3 different people. The clock was ticking down. It was like 10, 9, and then like halfway down, like to the last second, he finally got wrecked and blew that game for us. Never mind where anyone else might have been ranked besides him, but he knew that he was either doing shit or just wanted to get one more kill just to try to pump himself up, and blew that for everybody else.
like I've had that, which I've done that. So I'm that guy. I mean, the thing is, we're at 12K, and I'm like, wait, one more kill. Okay, we're tied, but if I get that one more kill, that'll give me 2 more points in ranked. Be 2 more over. I think. Yeah, I've done the math right. Here we go. And then I just go in, because if I get that one more kill, we win, and then I actually gain points. If I don't get that one more kill, I don't gain anything. So I'm just like, I'll
Right.
forget the rating.
But I mean,
We're
that's
going.
the thing.
The draw's 200.
Could you imagine if there was a way to actually keep track of that in match?
Dude,
just
people
to
get
see how
salty
people's
enough.
behavior would change when
Oh,
they
God.
realize how low they are, and just to see that extra aggro start to build up in people and what they would do.
Yeah, it's
in
already
response.
bad enough.
I want that as an experiment. Fuck that. Let's go.
Oh
The
my
next time that we
gosh.
do ranked, put
No.
it in the corner, let people know, and just see what the fuck happens.
Which speaking of that, I figure we'll kind of touch on this again next week and kind of talk about the aftermath of it. But at the same time, during it, I've been thinking, what do you think they could improve a little bit? My first thing is, I like the top 3 score. That's cool, right? So no infinite grind, so you don't have to no life it for a week straight.
It is a little bit of a trade-off, though, if you want to go like super hard, because you can't
Because
miss.
you still have to grind.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to grind. Yeah, so there is a grind to it. But what I was thinking too, for some people that can't make it one day, or have a trip, or go out of town and come back, or whatever, or might be just on vacation for half the week. They come back and they're already at the bottom, and there was no way that
and they can't get back up.
Yeah,
They
so
still can't get back
what
up
I
because
think
it's
they
per
should do-
day.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. What I think they should do in the future, and if there's any way that I can tweet this at them or whatever, which I'm going to,
Yeah.
because I just thought this up right now, to be honest. But what they should do is put in a catch-up system where you can
I was
play,
thinking about that today.
like, you can just play whatever 3 scores you get. That's it. So you got to stick with what you got. But or like, and then you have that
But
total.
it counts retroactively for that day.
Yeah. So your first 3 games there will be like, this is your day 2. And then say you miss day 3 as well. You do your day 2, then you do your day 3, and that's all you get is your only 3 scores. So you get one shot at it at least for each one. Something like that might be
A little bit nicer.
yeah, because then you've actually got some score to go toward the top. Whereas if you only manage to get in at like 3 o'clock and play one game, this is Easter time anyway, and play like one game, and then by the time you found a new match or something, like then you're out of time. You got 1 or 2 games. Well, then you're done. You're not making it to your
Right.
top spot in your bracket because you missed 1,300 points at least, probably, from that
And I
guy who's in
guess
the top spot.
the more generous option would be to have a lock-in system where you still have a count towards that day if you missed, and you have to call it. Wherever you're at in terms of those matches counts towards that. You lock it in. Once you do that, that's permanent, and you move on to the next day.
Yeah, that would actually work. That would be awesome, actually. Like, you just pretty much implement a save button, kind of like they already have, and it'll reset your game, and you'll have to move on to the next day, and then you'll get the new day load in. Probably, I don't know if they could do that, but yeah,
Like
that
for the
would
ranked
be,
mode in particular, yeah.
yeah. So you get like, I mean, the only problem with that, which I mean, I'm okay with this too, is that the no life people will be, okay, I got my perfect scores pretty much. Let's lock it in for day 1. I got my perfect scores.
Right, like
Let's
they'd
lock it
be
in for day
missing
2.
days on purpose to try to
Yeah.
get their. So yeah, that's the rough thing.
Yeah. So
It would have to be for retroactive days. I don't know how they would dictate that or keep people from exploiting it, and that's the problem with that system.
Oh wait. No. I got it. If you're currently playing, then it would
Like
be a
they
lock
check
in.
your activity time.
Yeah. Like if you're currently playing.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you play the first day for like an hour and you've played like 6 games or whatever, you know,
Right.
or they give you a limited number of games and then you lock in, or that's it. Whatever you got is what you got. But either way, they need some kind of catch-up system, because this is, if you do miss a day, that's it. You're done. You're not, and you're definitely not making it in the top 500 at that point.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that was one of the big sells for it. So it's just kind of like, oof, man. Hopefully you're in a sleeping bracket at least. Because
Yeah, because I was thinking about it at work today. Like literally what you guys were talking about. Like I was thinking, because I was, like I said, I have a bunch of sleeper people in mind. I was like, what are those guys going to do? They're never going to catch up. I completely agree. Like
And
as soon as you miss
wonder
day
if
1, you're done.
they missed day 1 and they just didn't bother from there.
There's
Yeah.
no point. I mean, outside of getting the mission rewards out of the way
Right.
for the recon or whatever.
And the 3 tokens, yeah. That's about it. So I really think they should implement that. Again, I'll probably bring that up if we talk about this again next week, because unless I come up with a better idea. But that's something I'm definitely going to try to post and get the word out.
I just don't know what the middle ground is. Like I like the 3-match system too. But it's hard to say. Like the current system definitely like creates a strange environment, but like I almost wonder how would you do something similar? Because I mean, it's not like they can set a point ceiling. Like there are some games that do events like this. Granted, that's more of like a grinding thing and less of a competitive thing, where like you can only get
if
so
you
many
hit a
points
ceiling,
per
then it's
day.
about the grind. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just maxing out and then you're done.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at that point, there's no competition because everybody, in theory, everybody can be at the exact same point goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like obviously, I'm not suggesting to do something like that, but I don't have enough experience of like balancing something like this to really think about how it would be. Like I think there could be a better option. I just don't know what it is, because both are pretty rough, and I think both favor grinding.
I think the way they've got it set up though, and how the point system is, like that's in my opinion, that's something kind of inherently flawed with that system, which is why you don't really see too many other games going with a ranked. But again, I think like what we talked about last time, I think calling it ranked is not the correct word really for it.
Well,
This
yeah,
is some event.
they're using bad naming.
Yeah. What we think is rated is typically what other games do for ranked.
Yeah.
In terms of team base, ranked, I mean, even here is more for individual stuff.
This is like a weak ladder. Might be the only way you could.
Like it's weird for that to
right.
even be a thing for like team games in general.
So, I will say it was kind of surprising seeing like a forgiveness type system where if you beat your rival, the whole rival system was really interesting to see as well, because that's another thing that, again, if you beat your rival, then and you're playing for those same points. You look at a game, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to lose. Play like you're playing for ranked right now, and you won't lose as many rating points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how it is.
It's true.
So
Everyone's gonna loosen their belts up though, because I mean, granted, the ranking is there or the rating is there, but there's it's not like an actual event like it is now. I mean, it'll be back like once you get out of it, like
oh yeah.
it could be a little bit different, but it's just gonna be back to normal matches at that point.
Oh well,
Yeah.
what I was saying was just like if you are losing, this is just kind of like if you want to save your,
Mhm.
you're getting crushed. They're already 10,000.
I see what you're saying. It's like I was
and
talking
you're-
about Desert earlier, where it's
Yeah.
just like I'm pretty much just playing for my rating score at that point.
Yeah. So
I gotcha.
you're already going to lose. Play like you're playing in ranked now for points, because that way you'll at least get, +3, +4 probably if you beat your rival. Because essentially right now everybody's your rival. So, but anyway, what else for ranked? What haven't we talked about? Meta, I guess. Talk about meta. That's a good one. Powered GM.
Oh
That
yeah,
came out of
there's a
nowhere.
lot of powered GMs. Like that surprised the heck out of me.
Like apparently it's a
Some-
Bazooka King or something.
It's a little bit more like a slightly more capable command. The command's always been the kind of form
But
factor for general suits.
But doesn't the command favor melee, whereas the powered favors range though?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yep.
Like I always view rocket launchers like because I don't know. Like
It's
if
just
there's
the
something in the
stun,
package.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the rocket launcher is just the bread, and the melee swing is the meat. And that's like you it's the rocket's an ends to a means for you to get in and deal your real damage. So like I don't know. I don't know what makes the I don't have trouble figuring out what makes it powered more of an option when you could just run the command level 3 or whatever instead.
I wonder if it's literally just like, oh, Exaku got nerfed. Somebody, what are we doing? And somebody just saw it, and that's just been the thing. It's
The
just a
thing that
trend.
people have been trying to
Yeah,
make work.
it might just
yeah.
be a trend flavor of the month, and it might not actually, because I'm starting to see less of them now. But day one was just like every
Inundated.
game was just like 1 to 3 of them. Period. Per team. So, what do you guys think about the
Yeah.
Exaku now as far as in the 350 meta? Like, I've seen a lot of them, but I don't see too many of them hitting the top numbers.
I think most of the top players have kind of moved on from the Aksaku. That's what I'm thinking.
There's been a fair amount of just baseline of freaks.
Yeah,
Making
there,
Oh, yeah.
there were
stuff
a
now.
lot of normally freaks out there. Like I was surprised of how many normally freaks were out there, honestly.
They got decent melee and that hard stop. It's all about the bread and butter of general. Confirm into melee.
Right now, just as far as pointing out the top players, we got in first place overall a Zaku ground type. Is that the desert? Might be the desert ground type.
Hmm.
And then second place a Freet. And then here's one that I've been seeing.
Which Ifrit? Regular Ifrit?
Yeah, regular Freet.
Okay.
And then this one in third place right now is one that I've been really curious about because I either see it stomp or do nothing. And when I see it stomp, I mean like 120,000 damage kind of stomp, which is the GM ground type. And it's in third place right now overall.
That is interesting.
Then we got the Go.
But just keep in mind too that those suits change just based on whatever suit they played last time.
Yeah. Oh wait, is it
Yeah.
really the last suit you played?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not prominent suit. It's just his last plates.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was okay. I wish I
Yeah.
play a lot of mass
But
production.
I have
so.
seen some grounds. It is kind of interesting to see people. In general.
I guess the ground gem isn't a horrible suit. I'm just surprised people are deciding to use it. Out of everything
one?
that's there, the ground
the
gem.
ground gym,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the ground Gundam. Then they actually have that in the RT shop today.
Yeah,
Some of the
that's
higher
pretty
levels
cool.
of that.
I kind of want that thing. Just saying.
It's pretty nice. I don't have
But-
it for 350, but 300. It's been fun to play.
Then here's a Hymo up here. A lot of general types though. And again, it's
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those things. If you're in there in the melee and you're doing the melee stuff, you're gonna get that diversion and you're gonna get probably that pursuit assist and everything else. So yeah, if you're a general type and you've hit first like that and you've been doing damage, that's the key thing. If you've been doing some solid damage as a general type, you can hit first and get that huge 400 score.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every class is capable of crushing. You just gotta
Yeah, you
get
just gotta
in
play
there.
to his strengths and yeah. But it's kind of interesting though, is to watch suits. Like general is kind of all over the place.
As you would
then
accept.
a lot of raids are either the like the Efreet custom right now, the prototype, and DS and the experimental Dom. I'm not seeing Nox at all. I don't
Which
see a
is-
Nox.
I've seen them in matches, but yeah, they don't tend to hit too high.
Or
I
the
don't-
BD1.
I don't necessarily like. I know that the Noct is a usable suit. Like they're all usable, but I don't see it as much of an advantage as more of a disadvantage.
Right, anti-stealth, right?
Yeah, because you most of the teams are going to be using Akazakus regardless. So
Probably
you're
one.
going to have, yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Emblem? What have you been really playing? What do you think's good in as far as raid goes?
The gun cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, touche.
So much
Yeah, I forgot.
damage.
Like literally during the first night, like I just started playing support. I mean, I think assuming you have like good games, which I guess it's fine because as long as you get those good games, it's okay. But I think like as long as you can do the high burst stuff, like the Freak Kai makes sense. The Proto makes sense. Proto like those down swings.
I
You get some really good damage out.
And he has a ton of health.
Yeah.
Actually,
There's
I
a
wouldn't-
there are a lot of suits that can burst and get in there in a pretty big way. Like one of my best matches was with the Hymo Dom. So like it's possible for sure.
There was a match that that we won by the skin of our flippin' teeth. I don't even know how we won this match in ranked. But let me see if I still have it. Yeah. There it is. Okay, so give me just one moment. I'll throw it into the Discord. Because I was pretty I was really proud of this. Because I didn't think we would win, in all seriousness. Because we ended up acting like garbage almost the whole entire match until like the last like 20 to 15 seconds. But
You guys like ace the enemy team, or
oh, I did some fucking work. Oh, I'm never gonna let go of the MPT ever again. Because
there we go, mass production stuff. Let's go, man. All I'm saying.
Oh, I was like, what the heck is the MPT?
He always throws in the
Oh.
T, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's such a oof.
it
But,
does work.
But yeah, any thoughts on the general type meta? Again, I kind of pointed out some on there, but like general is
Just play
not
the
really
X
my
option.
thing.
Pretty much.
But
I mean, I've been
free.
I mean, I feel like
And-
general you could pretty much play just about anything. I don't think I have them all, but I mean, just looking at the suits, it's literally take your pick at what you're good at, and
I think the Cold
well.
Districts is up there. Like
yeah,
especially
and some
the
of my
maps.
better matches have been with the CD.
I like the cold districts. I'm just not seeing it much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Gustav, you're coming out of frame a bit, buddy.
Yeah,
least
that's
on
because
my
I'm
end.
like slumped over.
oh, here.
Hold on, I'll just move you.
Yeah, we'll get you.
I don't
moved over
I don't
here.
want you to break out of full relaxation mode, buddy. I got you.
Yeah.
Gotta get full slacking mode in from Pokemon. Just gotta get that slump going.
So yeah, that was my NPT round with that thing.
Okay, close enough.
I posted it in the chat there. I was pretty surprised that we managed to pull that off.
I had a good time of showing it. I don't have a good way to show it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how to get out of without breaking all the camera stuff. I don't know how to get to the thing to throw it up. I was gonna just link it in chat. I'll link it in chat in the end. Or something. But yeah, as far as support types go, my thoughts on that is mass production type is my favorite. So gun cannon and then just the normal gun cannon are my two favorites for ranked right now. And then probably after that is probably the weapons rack. I don't have the Dom double barrel cannon, the Dom cannon. So I can't speak on that one. But the rest are kind of like, if you're good at it, do it. Do what you're good at. That's another thing. When picking suits, if you are good at it, play it. If I switch from my mass production type gun cannon to an Agzaku, I will be contributing nothing to the team. And because I have not practiced it enough. So I'm going to play my one trick, being my mass production type right now, and get that score. And also, we're probably going to win because of it. And if that one dude that I can't read because it's in Japanese is saying, why is there two supports? Can we switch? I'm just going to stay. And if he wants to leave, he can leave. Because I've actually had some of my best games when we've had 3 or 4 supports, or all supports.
Yeah.
And because, again, the other team's probably going to be sticking to the meta, which is going to be a lot of general types.
I mean,
even
day
though that
one we
is the
had an
meta-
almost like full raid team, and we wiped their entire group. We bullied them so hard back in their base. And I know that's always a gambit, but when you're going for your top 3, you need to take those chances unless you're really strapped on time.
Well, and see, the other thing is, too, if you're trying to win the game in the standard sense, that's why there's a meta. You're not trying to win the game in the standard sense. The meta needs to shift to win the new game. The new game is ranked. It's not rated. And the other thing is in rated, you're trying to play like a team, meaning the general types can do their job, the support can do his job, and the raid can do their job. In this type of game setting, everybody's going ham. You're not doing your average job. So the meta has shifted. And I don't think we found a meta yet because it's literally because of how ranked is, just play for yourself, essentially. So will we find one by the time the week's over? Probably not. But if there is anything goes, it's probably okay. I mean, that's how I look at it. And again, play what you're good at, because that's going to get you the points. And if you're going to try to get higher in the rank, you got to do well. So taking that hit for the team also sometimes could also lose the game for your team as well. I mean, I'll admit that I'm garbage when it comes to certain suits, like general types and raids. So I'll play them sometimes for fun and try to learn, but that's why I play them, is to try to get better. And at the same time, in this case where I'm trying to win, I'm going to stick with that mass production type and break the meta, because that's going to be how you win this, because nobody's playing like the meta normally would dictate. Because also, normally you get a high score and you would run away. You don't want to run away. You want to keep the attack.
Right.
Always
Gotta
advance.
keep that aggro up.
What is it? Aggression is key, or whatever.
Intensify the barrage.
Intensify barrage. Aggression is key.
Push the advantage.
Yeah, like you gotta keep going. So that's another thing. So as far as but yeah, back to the kind of the main where I started there. The support meta, though, I would definitely recommend most people the mass production type or the gun cannon. Pretty much gun cannon if you can shoot well. Mass production type if not, because you got to actually aim a little bit with the gun cannon, because its cannons are actually accurate.
Determined to follow up too, like even when I swap and go right into it, a lot of the suits are dodge rolling and getting the damage, which doesn't work when I do it, but everyone else is getting me pretty hard with it.
Yeah, that's just lag. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. Like, It's the
Mhm.
latency thing. So you gotta. So sometimes I'll sit and charge it, and then actually just go ahead and use a full charge if I think I can get that off. If I'm actually engaging them, then I'll shoot, stagger them. They'll dodge roll. Then I'll just shoot the cannon again. I won't even. I sometimes
Switch
won't
over
even
to the
switch.
rifle.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, they haven't dodge rolled for sure. Shoot. Okay, wait a second. Hopefully they don't win this engagement. Shoot, and then you got their legs, and they're done.
Oh yeah, you need to take a shower after every match of how sweaty you are, right?
So yeah,
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I already have my controller having like a weird list to the left on the right stick because I've just been gripping, smacking around that view because I need to actually get that field motor turning because always on a swivel. You really just have to be super reactive and not be afraid to go in, which sucks when you do have that passive team.
Oh yeah.
Because you're just gonna be the one that's like, oh yeah, we're going right, and then I guess we're not. You might get
Yeah,
somebody.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of both for the enemy team and for your team. When they're passive, nobody's getting scored that game.
Mhm.
Like, so they're playing rated still at that point. They're not playing ranked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which
Can't do the dance that much.
yeah. So
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
yeah, there we go. Seriously though. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers at least my thoughts on the meta right now. Anybody else got anything?
We still got a couple more days to go. I'm sure
Yeah.
things might advance and progress. Maybe we'll still be salty about the same shit, but we'll definitely be touching on this again.
Yeah, there would be definitely some aftermath. But I think that's pretty much everything about ranked. Did we miss anything? We probably did something because there's a lot. We got the recon. We got the recon suit. We talked about balance. We
Mhm.
talked about
Mhm.
the meta. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for ranked.
If anything, we can always touch up on it.
Yeah. If we forgot anything, we'll just do it next week.
Just remind us in the comments.
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
Why didn't you talk about things in the? Who was it that we got got disliked like a couple on that last VOD?
Oh no.
Like actually outweighed our likes.
Oh no.
I thought that was like angry people from the Reddit posts, and you were saying that they were actually like kind of like,
yeah,
wow,
there's
I'm surprised you guys talked
there's
about
like
it that much.
yeah, there's like one guy did, the other guy didn't. So
Oh, did you get angry comments?
oh no.
No,
I haven't
that's
even
the thing.
checked
It's
them.
just the dislikes. There's
Just
no
the
comments
dislike.
on it at all.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
then
So I
then
thought
it's
that was
probably-
weird.
Maybe a
they're
troll
probably
dislike.
just- Yeah, probably.
Like, how dare?
Well, let me just tell you this: YouTube algorithm, either one helps your videos. So either way, they're contributing.
Touche, I guess. Unless you get so far on the dislike, then maybe not. But yeah, I think that's about it. Anybody else? Any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Now she's sound brought up bringing the ball custom, making something that you can do for rank.
Oh my gosh. Well
Shit.
played.
Balls as banner suits. We're just waiting for it. Ball
we
K
need
type
to.
banner.
We need fucking the ball Gundam. It just needs to happen.
Yeah,
The
just
Gundam,
get
yeah.
Well, I was thinking he's talking about the GM juggler. Just get the juggler
Oh
and
god, that too.
have the
Oh,
K-type
gosh.
as a,
That could be our new
as a
support
shadow
suit.
suit.
Oh man.
The juggler.
The Juggler.
But yeah, if we want to go ahead, we can go ahead and start it with shout outs and stuff. So wait, which way am I going?
I was like, who are you?
I
You're
don't-
not pointing at any.
Am I pointing? Yeah, I'm pointing at you,
You're pointing.
Gus.
You're
Yeah, I'm
pointing at.
pointing-
Yeah,
Gustav.
no, you're not.
Yeah, Gustav, go first. I'm pointing at you. On my screen,
No,
I'm
you're
pointing
not.
at you.
Really? Where do I have you then? Because you're on Magnum.
You're-
Did you not switch yours around?
No, everything from Discord, everything else is opposite from your end on each screen.
so
Am
that's
I
probably
just
it.
mirrored?
So,
You might.
no,
It's like I'm pointing to
on my
you
side,
right
you're
now.
You're pointing at the wall, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
from
Anyway,
you guys,
if you want me to
you
go
guys
first,
got me
then-
inverted, I guess.
I
well,
actually
Discord,
did change.
Discord like automatically.
I said, I
makes
haven't
people
changed-
inverted.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything at all.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's weird. Because you guys are opposite. I'm looking at yours now. You guys are opposite on mine.
Yeah, because Discord does mirror images.
Damn it, I
That's
forgot
why.
to make my shout out command for my actual chat. But
Oops.
Twitter side, I actually did change my screen name from last time. It's actually at Gustav the X triple I. So for the 13th. Because
Are you
originally it was
verified
something
yet?
else. No, I wish I was. That'd be amazing. Just to fucking say that I was. But also Gustav the 13th on Twitch. And we have a Discord. I don't know if we want to like start setting stuff like that up so we can actually put it in each other's chats, but
Oh yeah, have like
Yeah.
commands and stuff.
you gotta hop on here and we can put in the invite for you. But I'm still doing like, especially since ranked is going on, that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing until that's done, and then after that we'll start getting into other games in the interim stuff. But right now it's gonna be all ranked all the time, just to get those scores up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And I'll
Next,
send me that link, and I'll go ahead and change that.
put it in yours. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess, and yes, I'm pointing probably the wrong way. I'm probably still pointing at the wall for you guys, but on mine, I'm pointing at Maniac. So go ahead.
Again, have no idea what the fuck I'm going to be saying here. I'm gonna hold the pass card, and we're gonna move on to emblem, so I can think of something.
So humble.
Okay,
Maniac,
well
I can. Yeah, Maniac, I can appreciate you being humbled. No hashtag sellout here. Unlike yours truly. Hashtag build a Gundam out of $1 million bills, baby. So I am GamingEmblem. I stream on Twitch. You if you caught episode 1 of the podcast, you probably saw it, but we play Battle Op. I think, maybe Downtime in the Hangar podcast is about some kind of game. But we do a lot of different stuff, RPGs and whatnot. It's not just mecha related stuff. We get in there and do a bunch of different things. Sometimes I even finish video games. It's crazy. But
Wow.
mainly just Twitch. I have a few VODs on YouTube or whatever. Mainly like my playthrough of Sonic Forces. Don't go and watch it. And a few other, if they're like minor things and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. I mainly just do Twitch stuff on weekdays, usually from like 6 p.m. Usually from like 6 p.m. Central to about like 10 p.m. Central on work days, just so I can be a responsible, adult. And I try to stream longer on the weekends, so that's like the best time to try to catch me, is because we'll have longer hours.
Cool.
But yeah, that's about it. Twitch.tv/GamingEmblem, boys. It'll be in the description.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll put everybody's information in the description. So, like for Maniac, it'll twitch.tv/ well, it's just his name here on the right under his picture there. So GndM and then another M, right? Maniac.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as far as me, I'm EG Magnum. I've got a YouTube channel, so just search EG Magnum in YouTube. Finally, my videos are showing up when I just search it at a random place above the video that's for the gun itself. So, yeah, we're getting there. When that's at the bottom of the list, I have succeeded.
Absolutely buried.
Yes. And then on Twitch, I stream pretty much anything I'm playing. Now that I found out that I could stream the PlayStation, it is awesome. If I could stream some other stuff and get a capture card, one day maybe I'll go back to some older games or something. But I do anything from WoW to I plan on maybe getting to some Elder Scrolls at some point. But I do Battle Operation is one of my main games right now. As far as this week, that's going to be pretty much all I'm doing. Other than that, I do a lot of Path of Exile, and yeah, I pretty much just play just a little bit of everything. But I tend to stick with a rule of 2 when it comes to games, and stick with 2. So right now, Path and Battle Operation 2. And then I've got Twitter. It's going to be You can find that on my Twitch page. Just scroll down and click the button. It says Twitter Hype. I do some of the tweets and stuff. I've been trying to actually get into that and do social media because typically I don't. So that's been a new experience. Trying to use that. Also got a Discord. You can also click that, and it's gonna be down below on the Twitch. And I can't help but laugh. But yeah, the now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Discord. But anyway,
Sorry.
Discord's a thing. Join that. Got some channels and stuff to talk about things and whatnot. We'll have some fun on there. Still setting it up and getting everything with that ready. But yeah, so that's about it. So anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Leave some comments about what you want us to talk about next time and some stuff that you thought about what we said.
Even if you
Anyway.
just want us to shut up.
That too. Ooh,
Ooh,
nice
fancy.
choice. But anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.
Later.